Alright, I think we're live, dude. Let me just... Oh, nice, it saved all my shit. Okay. Okay, I think we're just about ready. So I don't see anyone in chat yet. Oh, I have water. I don't need water right now. I do want to get food. Hello, Yulia. Oh my god. Yeah, today is Bayonetta 2. Bayonetta 2 fucking whatever. What's up, Slim Knives? Don't know you? That's an unfamiliar name. Okay. What's up, Alon? Actually, wait. Oops. Wrong key. Let me close that. I think you're fine. I actually do want to get food myself right now. What's up, Antelope? Yeah, I mean, there's nothing like super controversial left, I guess. Oh, sick, dude. I'm really happy to hear that. Yeah, that you decided to join. Okay. I figured out how to fucking loop the music properly now, hopefully. Well, I didn't do anything wrong. The problem was just that Streamlabs, like, it supports any kind of file, but for some reason the only one that actually loops is WAV. I'm pretty sure it's not supposed to be like that, but it is. So just made the thing a wave And then now it's fine. I really have to learn fucking Logic Pro, dude. Like, I opened it for the first time today and it's confusing as fuck. But it does seem pretty powerful. Okay, we're still at 7 viewers. Yeah, I'll get food real quick. And then I'll be right back. This is a little bit embarrassing, but like my mom is just outside. She was just working out. I think she's done now, but like I'm trying to be a little bit quiet. I don't want to disturb anyone. I'm gonna start talking in a little bit, for real. Got a slice of apple pie. What's up, R Tower? I mean, see, this suggests to me that you're a big fan of MGR and No More Heroes, right? Which suggests to me that you're not, like... You like games that are hype, probably? More than, like, super technical shit, probably? I hope I'm not assuming too much. But I guess my priorities are a little bit different. See, Ryan, I was playing Reboot and DMC5 and DMC4 back to back earlier, and like just the dodge button and like the way weapon switching works and stuff in Reboot, it is a little bit confusing, but I actually didn't have too much of a problem with it just now. I guess it really just depends how fresh is your muscle memory with each game. Yeah, Anil, that is exactly the best control scheme. What's up, Salizo? I need to replay Asura's Wrath. I might actually bump it up after that, but like... it's like, yeah, it's a big spectacle, but it's kind of simplistic. Thank you, Alon. Yeah, that's exactly it. I was kind of wrapping up the DMC4 part, and then I was getting into why Cage 2 goes where it should go. But like, I'm gonna redo that because like that's where the stream kind of crapped out. I guess that's the first thing, right? I want to apologize for that. I'm not sure what the fuck happened, but like my internet just fucking shit itself. Man, like, even that's the thing, like I said, I was just playing DMC5. I played mission 3, what's up, Alm, on LDK, and I was like, this is fine, but it's like, it's wild that with the reboot, the enemies give me more trouble than the enemies in 5 on LDK. I just think the aggression is not nearly high enough. I think with 5, their focus was just way too much on making the enemies not annoying at the cost of actually making them interesting. Let's see, how many people are we? Damn. I mean, yeah, see, I was wondering how obvious is it that it's supposed to be ironic? This is your Joker origin story. I'm gonna finish the apple pie first. This is gonna be very distracting if I keep stopping to eat and shit. And like, I want to let people come in and stuff and like just recap and reintroduce everything kind of, because like, again, last night's stream ended so suddenly. But like, Aw. Well, you made it. Because you're amazing and really talented. Yeah, guys, if you like my profile picture on YouTube, Yulia here is the one behind it, and it's really great. It's really cute. I love it. And I love her. KH1 and 3. It's Zone of the Enders 2. But it's the Japanese version, so it's called Anubis. Yeah, she painted a mug for me. And then I just photographed the mug. What's up, Gogeta? Yeah, I hope so too, dude. That was really unfortunate. Dude, Zone of the Enders is very Alcor. We'll talk about it. I have some... yeah, Beta 2 is gonna be... It's gonna be a ride. Well, actually, I feel like I'm gonna finish talking about Beta 2 really quickly. Probably. But yeah. I have some controversial takes on Zone of the Enders, I think. Not your thing at all. Okay. I can actually see why. Yeah, again, last night's stream ended super suddenly, and like, it just didn't make sense to pick it back up again, that exact moment. Because it was clearly an internet issue, so it's just super out of my control, unfortunately. Antelope, I am super with you on that. That's all I'm gonna say for now, but I kind of feel this with Zone of the Enders 2. I'll get into. I was like going into this a little bit, yeah, like last night before I cut out, but why would you burst in flames? That's like obvious. Nice. Yeah, Alan, I'm looking forward to that. Like, I mean, that's the thing. I wanted to pick games that like scratch a similar age, right? And I do feel like I'm stretching the definition a little bit even still with like No More Heroes, for example. Or even Hellblade, yeah. But like, again, my justification for that was like, yeah, I wanted to show the evolution of the developer and all that, so, all the tiers are ordered. From left to right, so left is best, right is weakest. Dude, Transformer, yeah, we'll talk about Transformers. Transformers has like a pretty vocal fan base. Bayo 2 broke the Platinum Games community. Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate. Yeah, I mean, I was trying to be fair to MGR, you know? As much as I don't really like it that much. Yeah, so I hope you catch that later. You know, like, I think I explained it pretty comprehensively. The Nightmare Before Christmas game, I didn't play it that much. But it seemed kind of lame, to be honest. I would put it in the don't care, I haven't played tier, but it seemed not very good, honestly. Yeah, that's the thing. I mostly included Kingdom Hearts because I wanted to talk about how sick Kingdom Hearts 2 is. because it scratches that itch for me, even though 1 and 3 don't really scratch that itch. But then at the same time, I feel like I should include them if I'm gonna include Kingdom Hearts 2. You know, it's kind of weird, but like, I think this is like a list that people like can kind of agree on. Hopefully, like as far as like the games selected. Damn. That's interesting to hear that you made style bits for MJR and that you still don't really like it. Like you jump scare cancel. Okay, finish my apple pie. Dude, actually this is a great point because I haven't played Remind yet. I might have to do that. Heavenly Sword, okay. I'll try that. I am kind of curious about it. All right. We're at 18 viewers again. Yeah. Like these tier list streams seem pretty popular. Okay. So, yeah, the last thing I kind of talked about was DMC4, right? I kind of just wrapped it up. I guess I want to wrap up the DMC section a little bit more. What's up, Lord Bluewald? It's funny, Lord Bluewald GX. That's funny, man. See, it's funny because like I just dipped into 4, 5, and reboot again a little bit just before the stream. Did a quick sesh. Damn. Okay. I should play that. Remand. Fuck. Aw, thank you, Gogeta. Oh, what's up, Dylan? Yeah, I think that's a great fucking way to put it, honestly. So. Thank you, Mulgar. Yeah, I am glad you can, like, see where I'm coming from. So I still, like, having just played these games a little bit again, I still feel these placements a lot. Like, in the end, I gave it to DMC5 sort of for, like, its general place in history, and, like, also the bosses are just way fucking better. But, like, honestly, I would still... Like, if the list looked like this instead, I would not be ashamed of it, you know? I could still see myself doing this, you know, if I get into DMC enough. Like, yeah, generally, like, I think just the enemy aggression and the, like, the gravity and just the general tightness and the polish of DMC is very impressive. And DMC5, for as good as it is on many fronts, I think it's kind of losing that long-term appeal for me. A lot of the fights, I just don't feel that exciting anymore. And DMC4, still clearly the best one, even just in terms of the basic feel and like how many little intricacies the enemies have. It's just fucking unmatched. And that's why it has to be the #1 DMC game to me. Yeah, Mulgar, the gravity is low in Reboot, but it's even worse in 5, you know? In my opinion. Like that's one of the reasons why 4 is the best piece, has the highest gravity and like it feels the most fast paced. In large part due to that. Oops. So if I had to choose, obviously I would take DMC4, right? But if it's like between DMC5 and DMC is like closer to where I want it to be. The enemy slot limit? Wait, what was that? Enemy slot? Okay, damn. See, I mean, on LDK, it's already pretty hectic. Maybe I should try that. You think, Ryan? Well, actually, you know what? I can kind of see what you mean because like you can do roulette and then pull yourself up over and over again. That is true. Um, but like, I don't know, just the gravity itself, the way you juggle the enemies, I think, in DMC 5 feels a lot slower and a lot more just kind of rigid, you know? Yeah, I mean, yeah. I guess Ryan, I'm like looking at it from the perspective of like Nero mostly because I don't find Dante or V or Virgil as fun to play. Yeah, but that's the thing with Nero. I feel like I'm just going through the motions so much these days, you know? I feel like I'm just with DMC I'm doing a lot of things more very much on the fly with like the one move with Osiris, for example, where you pull enemies up. Like seeing those opportunities I think is really cool. Whereas in DMC5 with Nero, like double snatch and shit like that, it's just such an obvious solution to everything. Like, I think it's nice that so many enemies in DMC have ways to block Snatch, essentially. Yeah. I don't know, I think it's mostly just that the enemy design in DMC is a lot more engaging, honestly. Yeah, like, that's the thing, I wouldn't even say it's hard with the other characters in 5, that's the thing. Caliber gunshot. Not that reboot has caliber. I was like saying it doesn't have caliber, so I was like, yeah. I get what you're saying. Yeah. Okay. I don't think he's a snatch as near as Virgil nearly as much as improved. Yeah, I mean, no, you don't have to. I'm just saying it's very easy to do it that way. That's my problem more than like, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's okay, Mulgar. I think I need to play it more as well, you know? That's the thing, I played 5 way more than DMC. That's part of the reason why I'm putting it here, because I feel more confident about that. But I'm really enjoying the reboot a lot lately. Oh, that's a good question actually, but so there was like this default sort of meme tier list that everyone was this template that everyone was using. Yeah, sure, go ahead, Mulder. Yeah, so Okami and Dragon's Dogma were on those, but I feel like the appeal of those games is way broader than like a lot of these other games. I wanted to keep it a little bit focused because like if I put Okami, for example, I would put Okami in S tier. But like that's for such insanely different reasons from all these other games, you know? Whereas all these games are like pretty comparable, you know? So yeah. I think that just it would just dilute the list too much. I have to say I'm not like super into Virgil anyway, so like I can't really. I barely played Virgil 3 either, so I can't really speak to that. Just action games with really good combat. Okay, so that's my yeah, Mulgar, I see what you're saying, but the problem is that I mostly included KH1 because I wanted to talk about KH2. So And then also at the same time, like, KH1 has a little more going on with its combat than, like, Okami, I'd say. Yeah, that's fair, totally. I'm definitely looking at it from the perspective of Definitive Edition. I think even just having Turbo and, like, Lock-On, huge difference. Yeah, so with all that being said, yeah, on the subject of Kingdom Hearts 2, we'll start with, it makes no sense, but we'll start with 2. By the way, for those who have been here, who were not here last night, I always pull the games into B tier first because it's kind of in the center, and then I put them in the proper tier where they belong. Yeah, exactly. I don't count mods really. I mean, with personal enjoyment, yeah, you can, like, fucking obviously I enjoy DMC4 even more with, like, mods. And, like, I mean, Ninja Gaiden 3, I mean, this is like, this listed here is the vanilla version, but, like, obviously I'm keeping Razor's Edge in mind. And then with Ninja Gaiden, I ignored the Sigma versions because those are, like, not very popular. So KH2, I forget what I was saying about it last night, but I think, well, I made, like, a whole video about it, right? It's probably the most comprehensive video on KH2 combat. Yeah, it's just really striking how insanely tight and polished and fast-paced this game feels. Are we talking King of yeah, obviously I would look at it from the perspective of Final Mix. Even though, I mean, the original is already so good, right? I do think Critical Mode is a great example for why this game is so cool. Because they took a really different approach to difficulty than a lot of other games. Where, like, just the fact that they gave you MP haste from the start of the game. It just really makes the combat faster paced with what you can do, you know, not just because they made the enemies more challenging. I think that was so fucking cool. And generally Kingdom Hearts 2 is, like, full of these very thoughtful systems. Like, even as a kid, right, when I played this, obviously I didn't fucking get why this game exactly was so good, but, like, even then, it's very obvious the way you think about, okay, drive restores my health and my MP. And then also, it kind of forces me into a different state that I have to fight in, which can be really good, or it can be detrimental, right, depending on the situation. But then, like, yeah, even, like, the fact that whether you have Goofy or Donald on the team, or whether they're alive or not, that determines which forms I can use, right? And that's something you have to think about on such a moment-to-moment basis. And yeah, like, I went really hard on this one thing in the video where you gain more drive when you're an MP recharge. So when you're in this position where you can use spells, that's actually where you need to be the most aggressive. And I think that is so genius. Well, I just don't know if the command menu adds that much to the game, honestly. I don't mind it that much, but, like, eh. What's up, Mark? Oh, shit! I'm not sure if you've watched one of my streams before. Yeah, dude, fuck. It's the best. What's up, PB Head? Dude, I get this feeling for sure, yeah. What's up, Jarius? Yeah, and like I said, like I was saying with this drive example, right? It's just all these fucking little details that are coming together that insanely changed the experience, right? Even like when you activate drive and it launches the enemy upward, uh, like that's one of the coolest things in DMC4, and I always thought it felt really fucking cool in KH2. And again, it's like another game with gravity, you know, where just this feeling of attacking a guy from the air and like the way every attack kind of pulls you down a little bit, and then they still thought of this thing where you like, even when you're super close to the ground, you will stay in the air, and you have this like really fine control. Okay, do I want to do an air combo or do I want to do a ground combo? Because they are very distinctly different in what they do. And just the RPG customizability is really well handled as well. It's not, the game doesn't feel grindy. They tied all the major abilities to story progression. And then I mentioned this last night as well, but like the way you grind up all your drive forms through like individually different methods, that with, for example, with wisdom form you need to fight Heartless. I think with Valor form you need to fight nobodies or something. I'm not sure, but like, or it's like number of hits, right? Like the fact that you have to think differently about how you even grind in this game, and like that you can actually strategize, okay, this is like the best spot to do this. That's super interesting. And then you see that, like, that's a huge consideration for speedruns, right? It's just so fucking insanely well crafted. And like it's just kind of incredible, like how it's this goofy ass fucking ridiculous game. But it feels so cool. Like all the animations are so fucking polished, and like just like the way Sora moves and the way he attacks, he comes across as really cool and really badass. Which again, that's not something you would expect from a game like Kingdom Hearts, but like it just gives me that feeling, and that's why it's gotta go in S tier. I'm not sure, is it better than DMC1? I do think the cutscenes, you have to like, obviously the story I think is pretty impactful, right? Even though it's stupid. I really enjoy it, but the pacing of the cutscenes is very poorly handled, and the game gets a lot more fun if you just skip everything. But then it's like one of the fucking best action experiences ever, and like, yeah, I mean, I think I'd put it above Ninja Gaiden Black. Like it has, it doesn't have anything about it that is like annoying to me, you know, kind of like Ninja Gaiden Black has some like, it has some lows. It's like probably on a similar level to DMC1, but like I can't really decide. Okay, let me look at chat. I have thoughts on KH3 Magic, especially. Is the command menu good? I think it's unnecessary. I think there's like a lot of better solutions that they could have done, but like it's fine. It's like I don't really mind it that much. Dude. Yeah, we haven't gotten to Bayonetta 2 yet, but we will. We will tonight. Well, see, Batista, I'm gonna talk again. Like I said, I'm gonna talk about KH3, but like that's exactly one of the reasons I don't like it. I get what you're saying, Salizo. I do think there's like just not having Combo Master at the start is kind of weird. Optic Phoenix, this is taking Razor's Edge into account. I was just too lazy to dig up the box art. I mean, I get this, but like I don't think it's that time consuming. Yeah, number fits. Yeah, I get this. The orange just means, I mean, I do think it's legitimately very random. You know, it's legitimately not very thoughtfully written. It's very much made up as it goes, and like the larger story of it is fucking dumb. Honestly, in my opinion. But it has impactful moments. I think up to Kingdom Hearts 2, it's a really nice arc. Even though 2 gets pretty ridiculous already. If you just treat everything after 2 as like fan fiction, it's actually pretty perfect. I talked about revenge values in my video. I think revenge values, I could see the appeal of them, but I think there could have been a better system. But like, it doesn't really, again, that's another thing. It doesn't really bother me, you know, it doesn't really make the experience so much worse. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. In practice, you're not really gonna fuck with the command menu like that. But, like, that's one more reason why they should have just... Like, that's the I think you could have fit all the fucking magic shortcuts under the shoulder buttons, you know? Yeah, I agree with you, Mulgar, with the story. Dream Drop Distance, I'm not a big fan of. Yeah, you know what, Antelope, that's a good way to look at it. So I guess we can talk about... I guess let's do Kingdom Hearts 1 first. I mean, what I suggested in my video back in the day was, they should have just done half the spells on L2, and then the other half on R2, and then, you press both for, like, summons, and L1 for drives, right? So L1 is, like, drives shortcuts. I think that would have been fine, honestly. I think the command menu was better for the first time. Yeah, I got what you're saying, Dylan. I think what they were trying to do is like, it's like real time, but it's like kind of an RPG, you know? I think that's why they did it this way, but like, it's just, like in 2 it feels increasingly kind of pointless to do it that way. Not pointless, but like unnecessarily convoluted when there was like better potential systems. I mean, even just, actually, no. I mean, like, obviously in other action games, you have fucking button combinations, or, like, you have, oops, sorry. You have motion inputs and shit like that. I'm not sure if that would have fit Kingdom Hearts, but, like, I think just having more different shortcut menus, I think that would fit it. Yeah, so that's what I would like to get into. It's definitely distinctive, the command menu, yeah. KH1 has this very magical, cozy kind of vibe. Like, I'm not sure how to exactly explain it, but I mean, I grew up with this game. You think? Oh, because the you don't have the shoulder buttons to rotate anymore, right? I get what you're saying, Dylan, but like also, like, I guess in the original you still had to let go of the face buttons to do the right stick. But I mean, they should have had both options in, like traditional camera and new camera. In KH2 it's good, and FF7 Remake, I mean, FF7 Remake, it's not RPG elements, it's just an RPG, you know, that game. It's just basically a turn-based RPG, except it's not really turn-based. I always like to say it's a turn-based RPG in the disguise of an action game. Mark, I know you're like a top-tier KH1 speedrunner. But yeah, like, I was gonna say, I kind of associate KH1 with, like, Christmas a lot, somehow. It gives me that feeling. And I think, honestly, it's, like, kind of wild for 2002. Like, considering it's a game with, like, a 3D camera, and, like, you can jump and stuff, and you can juggle, and you can do air combos and shit like that. That's kind of actually impressive for the time. And, like, it's actually great how much they nailed on the first try. Honestly, there's nothing really on KH1 that's, like... I mean, like, Deep Jungle has to be one of the worst levels in a 3D game ever. FC because juggles, yeah, a little bit. That's not exactly true, Jarius. There was a lot of reports like that pre-release, but it turned out not to be really accurate. You can definitely feel that in Cage 1. Yeah, Deep Jungle has to be one of the worst levels in like in any 3D game. The Alice in Wonderland level is like also pretty bad, and they're both like right at the start of the game. Atlantica, yeah, fuck, dude. There's some kind of bad shit in Cage 1, but it's not so bad that I wouldn't want to play it again, you know? Sure. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, Optic Phoenix, that's exactly my take. It's really impressive for the time. It's still a really fun game, and like I think just the aesthetic hits, the story hits, like fucking Sora. Spoilers, I guess, for Cage 1, but like Sora turning into Heartless sort of toward the end of the story, and like the whole thing with Riku, like that's so cool. Yeah. So I'll say, yeah, just mechanically it's not nearly as impressive as Cage 2. Like the magic system, like, yeah, Cage 2, sorry, I forgot even to talk about like just how genius the MP system is. It's like this perfect balance of you have to kind of ration it, and like you can't just spam your magic, but at the same time you do have the fast pace and like the leniency of a cooldown system. It's really fucking genius, and like I haven't really seen that kind of thing in any other game. And like Cage 1, conversely, all the spells feel very similar. And like building up magic to then use spells by attacking, like that's fine. That's a fine system, but like it's not like fucking Giga Brains, Kino, fucking whatever, like Cage 2. I put Cage 1 in the same tier as No More Heroes. I could see that perspective, yeah. So now I'm wondering, yeah, I'd probably put it like here. Yeah. As like an action game, I don't think it's as fun as like these two, for example, or even like, you know, any of these games. But it's really fucking solid. Honestly, you can't really. I have no like large complaints with it. So let's go to Cage 3. Cage 3, so it does one really great thing, and one thing that's kind of cool. The one really great thing that it does is I think it really improves the kind of flow and the polish of the actual world. The worlds feel a lot more detailed, they feel a lot more fucking alive. I mean, there's this one funny ass scene in Cage 2, I think, where in Agrabah, where Aladdin will like say, "Oh, dude, fucking just the energy, the people here in the city." It's like, I need that shit. And the camera will like pan across the cityscape, and it's just completely dead and empty. Oh, what's up, Dennis? I'm great. I think I ate a little bit too much today, but like, whatever. So I think Cage 3 really addresses that. Like the actual worlds feel fun to explore. They feel very detailed. They feel like they have a lot going on. And I think just generally in terms of the pacing, the cutscenes are not nearly as intrusive. There's a lot of really fucking fun set pieces. I think generally, this is kind of my second part, the thing that this game does really well is it really does feel like a next-gen Kingdom Hearts. Like, the scale and the scope of a lot of the things it's trying legitimately feels very impressive. Like, the fact that you can fly around this entire fucking ecosystem. You get to dance with Rapunzel, yeah. This entire ecosystem with the gummy ship. Or, like, that you have basically a world that's just a mini Wind Waker. But it's actually really tight, and, like, all the islands are kind of interesting, and you can, like, you can use the teleport thing to fucking beam halfway across the map, and, like, it loads really fast, and it looks really fucking good. You can actually see the amount of time that they put into this game. I think from that angle, it's very cool. The food looks great, yeah. I'll say, while we're on sort of, like, not super combat-related stuff, and going to more negative things, I think just, like, I've said this before, like, on other occasions, but, like, I really do prefer to treat the story after KH2 as fan service, as fan fiction. I have a lot of disdain and respect for Nomura. Like, I don't think the guy realized, but he being as me. Yeah, I see what you're saying. That's a nice point, Blue Balls. I think the fact that you get health back for anti-farm is a good incentive to do it. Like, it's pretty weak still. But you might be tempted to use it if things get bad enough. I think the story... Like, I mean, the donkey video honestly describes it perfectly. It's just such a fucking hodgepodge of nonsense. Like, characters fucking... Again, talking to each other like robots, and, like, most of the dialogue is just the characters explaining to each other what the fuck is even happening, you know? And, like, just the overall sort of, tie-in between the Disney worlds and, like, the actual larger story feels fucking looser and, more irrelevant than ever in any other Kingdom Hearts game. And, just the way it wraps up, I forget, like... Yeah, I think it's just, like, I don't want to spoil too much for the... I mean, some more recent games, so I'm gonna... you know, keep it close to the chest a little more, but... It's like removing a lot of the payoffs from KH2 and, like, not really paying a lot of respect to that, and I think it's a weaker game and a weaker finale for it. It doesn't feel like this epic finale to me, because, like, all the shit that they're wrapping up was stuff that they established in the dumbass spin-off games that I don't care about. Like, there's almost nothing in Birth by Sleep or Dreamed Up Distance to me that's actually worthwhile. I do think Dreamed Up Distance has kind of a cool ending, but, like, that's it. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I don't know. Virtual, yeah, as a virtual Disney theme park, it's, like, the best. Now, getting to the combat, Cash dialogues are great and fun, but 3 didn't do anything with the story. Yeah. Yeah, like that's the thing, you have like, everyone memes that the Woody scene to fucking hell, and, like, fair enough. But I think it kind of shows, like, there's almost no other good moments in that whole game, like, story-wise, honestly, in terms of, like, character interactions. As far as the comic goes, like, it just feels fucking floaty. Like, you can't ignore it. It's better than any other fucking Osaka Kingdom Hearts game. And, like, I should try Remind, right? I should definitely play that. But I still feel like a lot of my fundamental issues, like, again, it doesn't feel as tight as 2, and I think it never will. That's one thing. But I do think a lot of the actual game design is very weak. So, yeah, like, Batista, I think you made a couple points about, like, magic and stuff. My exact problem with KH2 is, like, they throw a lot of fucking enemies at you. which is kind of impressive, right? It's fun to fight so many huge crowds. But then the game is designed such a way where melee is basically useless to deal with those guys. I already got the DLC. I haven't played it yet, but I already got it. So, well, I mean, some people, like Antelope, were saying earlier that's actually really great. So I do want to try it myself. Yeah, Blood Revolts. That's kind of accurate. I need to see what's like in Remind, but yeah. See, the melee combat is so useless and shit that, yeah, you could pick off the enemies one by one really slowly, right? But it's not really enjoyable. It's not tactical. It's not some epic fucking lad mode if you do it like that, right? Instead, you kind of just like what's practical to do is to run into every room, and then just spam thunder, right? Spam thunder, and that's all you do, because every spell is like designed to be as like flexible and kind of wide-reaching as possible. It kind of has the KH1 problem, but like even more amplified in that the spells, they kind of cover too many niches at once, you know? Like with fire, for example, when you're shooting fire at a guy, you do not have to think about your position at all. It will just always home in on the enemy perfectly. And like because Sora like keeps moving while he's firing, that seems like a cool change, but it just makes it way too fucking easy to like autopilot and just spam shit. And see, attractions, you bring up a good point, but like, I mean, attractions are way more annoying because like whatever, right? Like they just interrupt the gameplay and they feel gimmicky. But it's like, even if you remove the attractions, there is not that much left actually in terms of the combat. Yeah. Like, I think the combat is so fundamental. Like, I mean, critical mode, for example, right? Critical mode, I played it a little bit, but I didn't actually finish the game on critical mode, right? It cuts down your MP drastically. So you're forced into melee combat more. But, like, it doesn't actually fix the fucking problem, right? Because, now the periods where you're like between spamming magic are just longer, and you're forced to kind of deal with this crappy melee combat. That's not fun. Like, and because the arenas are so huge, it's actually better to just wait for your magic to come back a lot of the time. Like, again, this like perfect interplay in KH2 that I was praising, where you always have something different to do depending on the situation. In KH3, that's not the case at all. You have one clearly best option, and that best option is not dependent on anything else. You don't need to do any setup or preparation for that. And that's why it doesn't, like, and the combat is like this, A, because of kind of the general engine, right? Like, because just the way they designed the animations and the way they designed the gravity is just very floaty and unsatisfying. But also they're so focused on crowd combat, right? It's just not fixable, you know? It's a great spectacle. It's fun to just fucking spam thunder and, yeah, the form change is fucking stupid. It's fun to, like, just watch everything go up in smoke. But I don't think it's well designed at all. And, yeah, like, I think I'll actually leave KH3 at the end of B tier here. I think this is the right position for it. It's a very fun experience, like a very fun roller coaster ride, but there's not a lot of meat to it, unfortunately, and like the problems, they run deep enough that I feel yeah, it's not something they could have really addressed with patches or even DLC. I'm open to trying Remind, but like I don't think it will change my mind on it. I like the part where they essentially made a sequel to Big Hero 6. Yeah. Dude, actually that's crazy, yeah. I mean, you really like to figure out bosses. Yeah, I mean, I always hear that the bosses are really fucking great in Remind. Like, there's a lot of people that go hard with action games, and they love the Remind bosses, so, like, I'm interested from that perspective. Sonic Cage, you'll replay for the mechanics like 2. What's up, Frank? Ooh! Yeah, 2 is just fucking... It's just the best. Exactly, dude. Yeah, like why I don't want to sound like it's not scrubby to say that the melee combat is very ineffective and shit, and that's why it's actually way better to like just run across the arena and like wait for your magic to come back. I don't think that's scrubby at all to say that, and it's just a it's just a reality of how this game functions, and I feel like people, like, again, playing critical mode, for example, they will kind of convince themselves, oh, this is, like, really hard, so it's good now. No. I enjoy the K3 movement. I can see what you mean, but, like, I think, it just feels a little too rigid, you know? It feels a little bit too... like, I feel like I just... Like, the way you snap to walls and the way you... like tether yourself to enemies, it feels very kind of automated, so it doesn't really scratch that itch for me, but I could see the appeal for sure. Actually, Dylan, I was actually thinking of this. I mean, I added the Certified Hood Classic just as a joke later, but like, yeah, there's A tier is looking a little bit empty. That's true. Should have a snatch mechanic. Yeah, I agree with you, Frank. Honestly, that's one thing I was praising about DMC really hard as well. I think it does that really well, for sure. But obviously, I mean... what's up, Luke? Yeah. Like, Cage 2 has a lot of broken shit, but, like, it's fun broken, you know? It's not, like, one-sidedly broken. Like, that's why I keep saying just making the attractions less or not using them. I barely fucking use them in the game, right? And that doesn't make the combat better. It's not such a linear issue like a lot of people are kind of treating it. I'll definitely try Remind. Good thing it's not British people in here talking about what the fuck? Yeah, dude, the fucking whip is like one of the best implementations of that. Let me look at stats a little bit. Okay. Wait. Yeah, this looks fine. Yeah, that's, see, 30% CPU usage seems pretty normal. And that's what I had when the stream crashed. I think it, yeah, it really was like an internet thing. Well, okay. No. There we are. Okay. So that's Cage 3. Yeah, see, I was actually talking about this last night, Ryan. I do think it's a kind of clunky system, this kind of separation, but they do kind of add something interesting to it, where with some enemies, it's not immediately obvious which one will work better, you know? And depending, like, you have some enemies that you can do the Angel Snatch with by default, but then if you, for example, if you do the Ricochet shot and stun them a little bit, you can also do the Pole Snatch. So they actually do some stuff with the enemy design to actually justify the difference beyond just one enemy is like angel form, one enemy is like demon form. They actually do, they're a little bit thoughtful with it, and I think that's cool. Dude, Spider-Man 2 is a hood classic. Dude, that's fair, Frank. I'm glad you joined. I hope you're enjoying it. The stream. I do appreciate Cage's time to make HK. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Okay, which game do we go to next? Okay, what's a game that might be a certified hood classic? Um, I guess I'll say. Oh, would DMC5 be better if Nearest 2 snatches like? Not necessarily. I mean, it's something I think is cool about DMC, but it's not necessarily better or worse than, um, than 5's implementation. Yeah, that's more where I'm at. Yeah, Gogeta. I feel this. I was gonna go with Beautiful Joe next. Like, I was like thinking I want one more game in A tier, and I think Beautiful Joe is like a good A tier. God Hand is not an A tier. I can say that. It's maybe a little bit more than an A tier. Mad World and Anarchy Reigns. Ooh, actually that's a pretty good point. I haven't played those games in a good while as well. They're a little bit difficult to rank. Let's go with Beautiful Joe. I think I need to save all the good games as well. Because like if I wrap up all the good games now, and then I'm like left with only Bayonetta 2. I mean, there's only like, yeah, there's like only 2 games I would say on here that are actually kind of bad. Still. So let's just go. Let's just go with Beautiful Joe. So I think, yeah. Well, okay. Oh, what the fuck? I didn't know that. Dude, Lords of Shadow. It's actually pretty good. But I haven't played it in a while. Wait, let me, what's that other comment about? Oh, dude, magnets in K2, yeah. Yeah, it's like, so, Ryan, I guess the way I would describe, like Nero Snatch and 4, it's like, I just, like, with the, what the fuck are they called? The Knight guys, like, just, there were a lot more enemies in 4 where Snatch doesn't just linearly kind of put you in the perfect position. Which was kind of fun. And then just coupled with inertia, that was really cool. That's kind of a thing I'm focused on between 4 and 5. Oh, but yeah, I think the final game I'm gonna talk about is Bayonetta, because I still haven't, like, I put this here, for those who don't know, I put this here right at the start, same with DMC2, sort of to give a frame of reference, but I didn't actually talk about those games at all yet. So I think that's how we're gonna wrap up. Yeah, DMC5 has no physics at all when swinging through Grim Grips. That's exactly it. What's up, Yun? DMC4 has bosses that respond. Oh, beautiful. I haven't ranked it yet. I just put it here because I want to talk about it now. Yeah, exactly. Angelos, thank you. Fuck. Yeah. So, Beautiful Joe. Obviously, Kamiya fucking bomb-ass game. With a really good scoring system. Like, I think the evolution between Devil May Cry, and then Beautiful Joe, and then Bayonetta, and then Wonderful 101 is very interesting. Because, like, even though these games are so insanely different, the evolution is a little bit linear, you know? Like, there's definitely a sense that, you know, Kamiya was, like, trying to improve the formula more and more. I really like that Beautiful Joe is just, like, this very tight, no-nonsense playthrough. Maybe not as much as DMC, because I do think there's a lot of fucking sections in that game that are... Not a lot of them, but, like, the underwater thing where the alarm is, like, constantly going off. And also, I made a tweet about this. The one level that's, it's called the Beautiful Escape. Like, that part has to be the worst thing that Kamiya has ever done. Like, the worst thing that's ever been in any Kamiya game, honestly. Um, where you have the big fucking rockets going over you and you have to duck in the little holes. It's the fucking worst. Is Waterfall 1 the only good game with Zandatsu? Yes. Dude, I would like to just play Scalebone. Fuck. OG Resident Evil 2 is definitely... Is it S tier? I'm not sure. More sequences. So... No, dude, it is worse. Honestly, it is. Like, Waterfall 101 has, like, its share of fucking issues. But yeah. Yeah, Luke, like, that part in Beautiful Joe really fucking gets me. Like, I'm a very patient person with games, you know? But, like, that's one part that would actually make me hesitant to play it, and I don't say that about Kamiya's games, usually. I do think some of the enemy design is a little bit unintuitive. Like, they really do want you to fight them in pretty specific ways. And they're kind of hard to figure out sometimes. But I think, largely, this game's approach is very cool. Just to juggle it and, like, even dodging, right? Kamiya specifically was saying, yeah, dodging in Beautiful Joe was, like, too complicated, so we tried to simplify it in Bayonetta. Like, even though these games don't look similar at all, clearly there was like, an attempt to, like, share DNA. The one bit of credit I'll give DMC5's floaty aspects is that it got me to experiment with JC. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I kind of feel the same way, you know. I got more comfortable with DMC4, for example. Well, it's just, the Zandatsu is just in a cutscene in 141. Like, Dennis was memeing a bit. Yeah, Beautiful Joe is fucking hard. That game is hard. Yeah. I wish I could say more about it because, it is one game that I've played through it a lot of times, actually. But I've never actually played it on the highest difficulty. I don't think. Like, I've played the hard mode. I've played, the Dante mode a bunch of times. But I don't think I've ever actually beaten the highest difficulty, like I have with, Kamiya's other games. I think there's a lot of cool shit in that game. I think even just, like, round trip, right, is one of my favorite moves in DMC1. And, like, the way Boomerang is, like, kind of a similar thing, but adapted to, like, a 2D format, I think is very cool. Just generally, the polish and fucking kicking enemies into each other and slow, and the way that ties into the scoring system, I think it's just so fucking well crafted. Yeah, I think, though, you know, as far as, like, Kamiya, sorry, ooh, hit the thing again. As far as, like, Kamiya difficulty shit goes, I do think not having the scolds is kind of weak compared to everything else, compared to, like, Devil Trigger and compared to No Witch Time. And even compared to, like, the, you know, not having the slow-mo when you draw in Wonderful 101 on the highest difficulty, that seems like it's not such a big change, but it makes the game feel so fucking different, and it actually makes the game way more fun as well. Like, on a basic kind of control level, it makes it more fun. I think that's super fun, cool. And, like, I think Beautiful Joe just giving you a little less help, it's still cool, but not as cool as the other stuff. So I think, you know, with all those things in mind, yeah, I agree with this. I think this is a very great game, but I don't think it's as good as, like, Kami's other games. I do think it doesn't scratch as many itches for me. I really do need to replay it, though, honestly, like, pretty soon. I feel like that's one where it feels like a bit of a blind spot, even though I have played it so much. Oh, dude, I've always wanted to play that. I haven't messed with it that much. So yeah, I'll put this in A tier somewhere. But I'm not sure where. I mean, it's probably better than these games, so whatever. Let's talk about Beautiful Joe 2 real quick. I haven't actually finished this game. I never actually finished this game. And I think that tells you kind of that I don't have a very high opinion of it. I don't really feel comfortable putting it like... Honestly, I don't really feel comfortable making any kind of statement about it, because I couldn't even tell you why I didn't like it at all. It just felt derivative, right, of the first game, and like it didn't really... it didn't really have the sense of polish and like well-craftedness. But like, I don't have any real great fucking observations about it. So I think it'd be best if I just put it here. Honestly. Like, I don't want to make a hard statement on it when I can't really, like, I don't have any examples to even explain what I mean, So, Dude, Ninja Gaiden Dragon Sword, that game is great. That's a great game. DMC and Beautiful Joe, I can see that. KH3, It might be, dude. Or red versus red then. Actually, yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah. I mean, yeah, Raiden and Bayo are more black and red, I guess. But yeah. Oh yeah, it's coming to PC now. Well, I mean, that's the thing. I think the design of the game is so fundamentally, like I said, so fundamentally kind of flawed that, I don't really know. With mods. Okay. Actually, while we're on Kami, I guess we can talk about Wonderful 101. Maybe that's a good one. I'm kind of conflicted with this one, honestly. Obviously, this game is fucking great. And I'm really happy that so many people are discovering it now. And I think it's like one really underrated aspect of it is the storytelling and just how fucking well executed the story is. On new platforms like the Switch Pro and the Xbox Series X. I'll say, yeah, the best version of Wonderful 101, the best way to play it now is probably the PS5 or PS4 Pro. Because PC version is kind of jank. Wonder Red, best character of all time, I agree. 3DS and Vita, nice. Dude, the other day, fucking Inafune was in that Gunvolt thing. And my one and only thought was, okay, where's fucking Mighty Number 9 on 3DS? Yeah, Lord Bluewells, I agree with you on 3. So this game is fucking great and like has a very unique approach to juggling and oh yeah, Ryan, the PC version is not bad. It's not bad at all, but like I had some weird fucking issues with it. Like I finished the game on like I finished the fucking final Kakurega. So it's basically like secret missions. I finished that on the highest difficulty, and then it didn't save for some reason. And that, like, when that happened, I was like, okay, fuck this, I'm not gonna touch this version again. And that was so insane, like, because it took so many attempts to get that final secret mission. Yeah. Dude, the mods are the one thing that are kind of tipping me over. I think when I get a new PC, I'm gonna try those mods. Yeah. Um, yeah, like I mean, there's a lot of janky things with like the menu and like the user experience of Wonderful 101 that are not the best. Uh, but all that stuff is like kind of whatever, right? Like, I'm not gonna take that into account as much. However, I think just the general gameplay system of this game is super fucking creative and a really fresh thing for the genre. But I do wonder if the whole stun mechanic, like the game really hinges a lot on stunning enemies and defending with very specific means. And I wonder if maybe that makes the game a little bit too railroady. I think you have a lot of expression with how you juggle enemies. And that's really cool. And just generally, like, there is strategy in this game, of course. Like, the way you use multi-unite and all this shit. And I mean, just the way you have to think about how you draw dynamically on the battlefield. All that is really cool. And I think the game makes legitimate improvements over Bayonetta as well, even, like, I mean, yeah, like, like, the way weapon switching is, like, a true mechanic, actually, and the camera and all that, just, there's a lot of great things about it, but I think, the general kind of, yeah, like, as great as the moment-to-moment combat is, I do feel like I go through the motions a little bit still. What's up, Destiny Spider? Ryan, that's the only mod. That's the only mod for it. Yeah, that'd be a great idea. Matthew said on a recent stream he might have figured out how to do this. Yeah, the frame pacing thing as well, yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I'll do those next, dude. Yeah, you'll need the Teo mod and the silent patch. That's essential. So, Wonderful 101, great game. That's one big consideration about the combat, right? Like, that I think it's maybe a little bit railroady sometimes. Yeah, it's very exactly multi-unite bomb and then gunslinger. That, like, I really do that a lot. And then, like I said, you have nice expression with once you start juggling, but and then the way, like, the fact that you can do fucking Wonder Rising, for example, with the gun, that's super cool. And then with the fucking high-speed dash, the lock-on, the way all that works, the way you can kind of clip enemies in place with Unite Tombstone, that feels so fucking good. But I do get more enjoyment out of, like, some of Kamiya's other games, even moment to moment. But then at the same time, also, I think the game just has way too much gimmick shit. It has way too much downtime outside of the combat. Like where you're platforming, climbing, and doing weird mini games, and like none of those things are bad, but like I just have so many moments in this game where there's almost no sort of singular stage in this game that I can like just pick up and play where it's just pure combat, you know? I'm very hesitant to pick up this game these days. Because the density of combat just isn't there like it is with Bayonetta, for example. Yeah. That's really fun, cool. I definitely, like, yeah, I definitely agree that it's, like, game design-wise, it's a fucking achievement. Yeah, that would be great. That's the thing, I think Bayonetta, for example, right? Fucking Route 666 and Isa de Sol are these huge fucking points of criticism for a lot of people. But then, consider the fact it's just those two levels. it's like all the interruptions are isolated to those 2 levels, and it's for an entire level, so I think it feels a little better contextualized. And they still have cool combat around it, you know, with you fight on the fucking missile, and then I mean, I guess it kind of stinks that the final John fight is after a shmup sequence, but whatever, right? That's one thing. I don't think any of those things in Wonderful 101 are bad for the most part. Some of the, I mean, the one everybody obviously knows about is like the one shmup sequence with like the weird fucking camera. Was it Operation? Also, like, yeah, the final Operation, like some of the shmup stuff is like, like, the game does not really give you a lot of leeway to practice that sort of shit, and I never really got as comfortable with it as I did with Bayonetta. Yeah, Operation 8 is nearly all yeah, that's the one in where you go back to Blossom City, right? Also, yeah, the backstory segments, like, I don't know, man. Like, there's just a little bit too much stuff in this game. And that's why... Oh, yeah, the fucking... yeah, the fucking weird-ass demo. Yeah, also, yeah, I mean... There's so much, like, every time I start a new save file, just the thought of having to find all the wonderful ones again in the world is very frustrating. And then, obviously, like I said this before, right, I love the way stuff is hidden in Kamiya's games, but I kind of just want to go through the level sometimes, you know? I kind of just don't want to worry about it, and then... Yeah, like, I would like a faster way to unlock the extra characters or the Bloody Palace. So, let me catch up with the chat a little bit. But yeah, Frank, as much as I'm like kind of, you know, I guess playing devil's advocate, right? Like, trying to say some of the negatives, because I think most people expected me to put Wonderful 101 in S tier, and I could see it there. But I think I'll put it in A tier. But I would definitely love for you to give it a shot, yeah, for sure. I think just the whole rollout as well with the remaster and all that was very bad. Like, I think Platinum handled it very poorly. And yeah, I'm waiting for the Luca DLC. Fuck. Oh, what's up, Timbo? Bjorn, what is this in reference to? Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Shmup sequence and Bayonetta. I get that. Well, I mean, Kamiya jokingly said in his commentary that don't use the dodge, you'll get dizzy anyway. And like, he's right. You're actually just supposed to avoid shit by like moving. And I think that way it's fine. Yeah, I agree with you, Luke. Sup, Hollow Man? Wonderful one on Shmup stage. Oh, the isometric one? I don't know, man. I don't really like... I mean, a lot of people complain about the camera, don't they? How is John ranked compared to all the DMC series route fights? I'm mainly deciding in my head right now, is it better than Kratos, yes or no? Is she better than Kratos, yes or no? I think she might be. Yeah. But, like, only barely. So, John is number 1, Kratos is number 2. I could see that, Mulgar. Yeah, I get you, Frank. Like that. Like, you have to consider, I backed Wonderful 101 on Switch. And then the Switch version had really bad frame rate. I got the PC version for free with the code. And then played that for the most part, but then had these weird issues. And now I'm transitioning to PS5. And it's, like, just having to go through all that nonsense again. It's like, yeah. Hasn't even played the Bruce Willis. I have not. I'm sorry. Like, that's the thing. I could totally see this in S tier. I'm just saying, I think for me it has a few too many weaknesses. As much as I'm a Kamiya stan. Yeah, I get you. I get you. Good you did. Oh yeah. Oh, that's what that's in reference to. Okay. To Kamiya's commentary. I don't think she beats Kratos. I see. Like, I had a hard time deciding. You know, I think they're very close. Is Kratos better than DMC5 Virgil? Yes. I think DMC5 Virgil is number 3. But, like, he's a little bit far behind. Yeah, 5 Virgil, I think he's good. But, like, he's not... Like, he's very far removed from, like, Kratos. Kratos is so much better. I'm sorry, Ryan. Dude, pizza toppings might actually be a great idea. Yeah, I agree with this. Like, playing around all that stuff is it's very flexible with John. And just, like, I feel John is a little more responsive, you know, like, with trips and with launchers. And then, just the idea that you can... It's very intuitive the way you can, like, launcher and then do a Tetsuzanko, like, right after that. I think the fight is just so dynamic, it's, like, unmatched. The John fight. Yeah, I agree with you, Destiny Spider. That's kind of how I feel as well. I mean, yeah, Ryan, I think Virgil is a great boss for Demon Survive, but, like, if I compare him to those other games, it's like, eh. Dude, Kratos, there's nothing more satisfying than hitting Kratos. Fuck, dude. DMC series web materials, that might actually be fun. She is difficult. Definitely get the Moon of Monacala. That's definitely important. Tap that. As Virtual Fighter on crack, yeah, I agree. Yeah, dude. Fuck, I'm sorry. See, I saw your tweet at the time about it, but for some reason I forgot to react to it. But, like, yeah, I can definitely see the difference. I agree with this, Mulgar. Okay. Dude, the chat is so active, and I hate ignoring people in chat, right? I always like to catch up with it and read it, so, I'm sorry if it's moving a little bit slow. But yeah, oh, what's up, Late? I can kind of see what you mean. I mean, he has... I do think, when he, like, teleports away from you and stuff, it adds a nice sense of tension, yeah? I do like that. Okay, yeah, I promised Frank we will talk about Lords of Shadow and The Legend of Korra next. So let's do Legend of Korra first. I think this game is not bad at all. I think, the stance switching, the way you kind of cycle between elements, is a nice way to handle sort of a weapon switching thing, right? Like, it feels a little more intuitive. And then I like that it has kind of an all-encompassing effect on all your moves, that the parry, for example, is different depending on which stance you're in. I think that's how it was, if I remember correctly. Ben switching. Yeah, I mean, Ryan, I totally get you. Like, that's one cool thing about Virgil. Honestly, that he allows for a lot of expression. I definitely appreciate that. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Would you kill a man in real life? Probably not. Yeah, so. I think the game, the real only problem with it is that it just feels kind of generic, and, like, there's not really anything super interesting you can say about it. Like with the Samurai Jack game, for example, right? Even though it's not so fucking polished or, like, fun like all the way. There's at least unique mechanics in it that substantiate it over other games that make it worth playing. I have seen Korra. It's been I watched it when it came out, so it's been a little while. Who's my favorite character, dude? I thought the way they brought fuck, how do you say your name? Is it Toph or Toph? Toph? Fuck. It's been, I'm so out of the loop with like Last Airbender stuff. But I thought the way they brought her back was really cool. I thought Aang's son was pretty cool. Even though I forgot his name. Oh, the one villain guy from season 3. I liked him as well. And I think Korra's just really cool. If I were to judge it from memory, I'd say overall, Last Airbender is probably better. I know a lot of people are really hard on Korra, but I don't know. I really enjoyed it at the time, but maybe I would see flaws more now. But like, whatever. You said you don't like practice elaborate combos as much as dynamic for yourself, which I think just as DMC5. Yeah. I mean, exactly. Yeah, Ryan. Actually, yeah. Like the more I think about it, that's exactly it, right? That's why I totally get why you like 5. But personally, I don't even fuck with the void that much in 5. You know, I don't even practice combos at all. I just like to go with the flow and like figure shit out. On the fly, and that's why that's why 4 is my favorite. Is weird having like half a move so much of the game. I mean, yeah, the game is very basic. So Randy Pitchford is the out of all the people in the world, that's the one you would want to kill. So I think Korra, it's just like kind of generic and like not really that interesting. So honestly, I think I put it at the end of C tier. It's like not bad at all. There's not any one thing that I thought was like offensive about it, but like even as much as I didn't enjoy Data 4, for example, at least it's like kind of interesting, you know, like there's things about it that are tempting me back. Whereas with Korra, it's like, I feel like I don't need to play it ever again. Let's talk about Lords of Shadow. I think Lords of Shadow is difficult because I played it sort of close to when it came out. And that's a long fucking time ago now, but I remember really enjoying this game. I think, so it had kind of an interesting setup with, it wasn't like light and heavy attack. Instead, it was sort of single target and multi-target attacks. You can either focus your whip with square on a single opponent, or you can sort of twirl it around and hit multiple guys. And then they did like different levels of like hit, stun, and damage. And then I think, oh god, I guess it is officially over a decade. Because it's like, it was 2010. Fuck, dude. Oh, that's a long time ago. Damn. I do not own a real katana. Also, I mean, no, I'm very corny, but like, I try... Like... I try to sort of minimize like all the obvious shit that would, you know, give away that I'm corny, you know. I see what you're saying, Ryan, yeah. You know, it's still really fun. Maybe Yulia, we should watch it together. You and me. Yeah, so that's what I was gonna talk about, dude. I like that they have like combo paths both for this like, you know, targeted attack and the AoE attack. I think just fundamentally that's an interesting way to do it. I think the parries felt really good. But then they had this really cool light magic / dark magic system. I don't see whatever link you posted, Destiny Spider. So maybe it's like it was like automatically removed. I don't know. I don't mind either way. But yeah. You build up a magic bar, and then you decide, okay, do I want to go to light or dark mode? In dark mode, you do more damage. In light mode, you heal yourself. And that sounds really simple, but I like in this game, it didn't really affect your moveset, right? Like your moves were the same in light and dark mode, and the enemies didn't really care which one you used either. I think those were like pretty big obvious mistakes that they made with Lords of Shadow 2's game design, where like on paper it sounds actually better, like, oh, you get like a different weapon if you're in dark mode or something. But then they created specific reasons to go into dark mode, other than like your own sort of planning, right? I think keeping the system kind of basic and simple made it more freeform. And I think the boss fights in this game were very impactful. Just the pacing and the sense of progression. It's really surprising just how much it actually nails that feeling of this fucking Castlevania journey. I will say, the first couple levels of this game are trash. The first couple stages where you're doing like these Shadow of the Colossus ripoff bosses are very bad. But if you stick with it beyond that, it's actually surprisingly great. The sub-weapons were really cool, and like, yeah, I think one interesting thing was that the sub-weapons had different effects depending on whether you were in light or dark magic. So you could do holy water to like create a shield, for example. And just coming up with those solutions on the fly was very fun. Yeah, exactly, Frank. The cool thing about Magic is that it wasn't just for color coding enemies. They had useful mounts for general. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, they kept it basic, but it actually made the game more freeform and more strategic and less railroady. It's not... The game didn't have these, like, arbitrary fucking things. Whatever. More muffins or a no second guy? Probably no second. Oh, what's up, Mark? You haven't posted in a while. Honestly, the thing is, I haven't played this in 10 years, so maybe I could be super wrong about everything that I said, right? Maybe I don't actually feel this way anymore. Maybe I don't actually like it anymore, right? But I think it was really great, and I never really understood why people didn't like this game, honestly. Like, obviously, it's super different from every other Castlevania game. But, like, it actually did give me that Castlevania, like, Rondo of Blood, Castlevania 1 sense that I like, see a situation and I have to respond to it very methodically and very carefully. So, and, like, it hits the aesthetic and, like, I don't know. It's good. I don't remember anyone saying, like, specific reasons for why they didn't like this game. Honestly. That's, like, not me being obtuse. The final boss is Satan, yeah. Yeah, the demo is bad, but, like, the game actually is good. So... You know what? Yeah, I don't feel confident putting it over DMC3. Well, actually... Let's just put it here for now. Damn. Well, now you're mature enough that to know that we shouldn't listen to JonTron. You know what? I'll make that a priority to like replay this game. Yeah, exactly. Like the first couple bosses are kind of Shadow Colossus E. The first couple stages. It's definitely better than KH3, honestly. But I don't feel comfortable putting it over DMC3, so like I'm just gonna leave it here. Yeah, fuck JonTron. Okay. Dude, we're getting close to the end. Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I can see why you would bounce off of it really quickly. You know, I think it's totally fair. The game does not make a great first impression. I didn't play it that much. And also it seems like less of a linear action game, so like I didn't include it. But yeah. Maybe I should play that, but I always hear it's very bad. Oh yeah, it's TMNT. Honestly, dude, that's one of the most annoying ones. Nuts and bolts, yeah. That game is actually legit fucking good, and fuck. I distinctly remember people like pretending that they've played it just so they could say, "Oh, fucking JonTron said this game was bad," right? Like, what's up, literally Hoy? I justified my DMC3 thing in the first part of the stream. From last night. I guess you can check the archive if you're interested. Dude, Nuts and Bolts is fucking sick. So what's not sick is fucking... Well, TMNT, okay. You know what? I do think this game has some interesting qualities, right? Like, the way you can kind of stack attacks sort of on top of each other and, like, just really annihilate bosses and, like, the whole co-op focus. I think the game was kind of onto something. I think the traversal is pretty fun. The art style is pretty cool. But, like, the fundamentals of this game actually fucking hitting things and, like, just the responsiveness and the animations are not fucking it. It does not feel smooth. It does not feel fucking tight to play. Even just on a basic ass level. And, I think that's just... It's just bad enough to the point where it kind of disqualifies the game pretty immediately. So I do have things I appreciate about it, but I kind of want to put it here, almost. Yeah, Gujira, I think that's a good take. That's a good way to look at it. I'm struggling between, like, should I put it here or should I put it, like, in... Yeah. I think that's another one I would have to play. Oh, the cooldowns. Okay, you know what? Cooldowns, fuck it. We'll play it here. It felt very spongy. It felt very... You're styling on health bars more than you're actually styling on enemies. Yeah, Dennis, I think that's the one, yeah. That's the way to do it. Okay, I think Reshelled. Reshelled is, like, really offensive, you know? For how it just remakes this really actually fucking legitimately great-ass game. But, yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying, Frank. Dude, this fucking stream is full of surprises. So let's do Killer's Dead. I want to get through, like, some softballs, I guess, yeah. This game, it feels kind of basic and, like, like, see, I like the way I kind of like to put it is that, so with like, obviously it's an action game, it's a melee combat game, right? There was like a template that Okami was on, right? That everybody kind of used at the time. But I think my idea with this list was I wanted to focus on games with this very specific appeal. You know? I think the appeal of Okami is a little bit too broad. I feel like Okami, I would put it in S tier, but for totally different reasons from all these other games. And I think that's why it would dilute the list overall too much. So that's why I decided against it. Let me look at the time. Okay, it's not that late. So Killer is dead. Yeah. They might. Yes, I would. I think that sounds great. See you, Yulia. Honestly, yeah, Gogeta, I was like asked about it that like a lot of fucking times now, but like, whatever. I mean, this is the final stream, so I do. So Killer's dead. Blah, it's a melee action game, but also, you know, it's very closely kind of related in spirits to Killer 7 and Grasshopper's other games. And like, the way I like to put it is that Killer 7, I have no fucking idea what's going on in that game, but I know it's awesome. I know it has a point. I know it's very artistic. I know it's very fucking thoughtful. With Killer's Dead, I have no fucking idea what's going on, but also I know it's stupid by comparison, you know? Like, it's a very random, it's a lot of fucking shit thrown together, and like, I don't think it's trying to say anything super interesting. The aesthetic hits, it feels really good to hit things, but like Dennis, yeah, I honestly, I could not tell you anything about the way this game plays. I know you have the kind of No More Heroes like dodge, but not as good. And then you mash axe, and like you can fucking collect blood, and you can shoot at things, but like it's just all so basic, and like it's very much style over everything else. Yeah, it's trying to be Suda 5-1, but it isn't. I agree with you, Mark. Oh, see you, Mulgar. Yeah, like Suda, it's just sad that like Suda is so boiled down to just, oh, his games are so fucking wacky, crazy, and all that shit, right? By people who don't actually play his games, you know? If you play his games seriously, you understand just how much there is to them, like, thematically. And that's why I put No More Heroes so high, you know, because it really hits that. And like, all the other Grasshopper games that he wasn't really involved with, they feel like such basic approximations of that style. Like, they ape the style, but like not actually the substance. And yeah. Yeah, I that's kind of how I put it. Like, okay, so Justice Games, I think TSA is fucking great. Not as good as No More Heroes, but like I think it has, like, the emotional impact of the game is fucking insane. It has something really meaningful to say, and something really real, you know? As a game, it's very basic and not exciting like No More Heroes, but that's fine, you know? I think the game still really justifies its existence, and I think I'm really it made me way more excited for No More Heroes 3 as well. And it's just proof that Suda like just knows what the fuck he's doing. Shadows of the Damned, I think out of all the not really made by Suda Grasshopper games, it's probably the best one. Has the most sort of going for it. It has a really cool ending as well. But like, I mean, this like a lot of dick jokes and like, I probably wouldn't play it again, you know. It's just as an actual game, I just remember it being very basic and like, also not thematically substantive enough that I would really bother with it again. But like, it has a really interesting place in Grasshopper's history, and that's why I think it's worth looking at least once. That is accurate. Yeah, I agree with this. No, dude. I think Evil Within 1 is actually pretty great. I wouldn't compare them all, honestly. Oh, I was always curious about that. I still need to play that, actually. I also need to play Silver Case still. I started it, but like then I didn't stick with it, and I need to go back to that. But yeah, Killer's Dead. It's like fucking whatever. I think I'd put it above Korra, but that's it. Exactly, like, fuck. Okay, I think I am gonna finish with Bayonetta 2 and then go into Bayonetta 1 and like compare the two, kind of, and that's how. And like, I had a genius idea just now, but like, I'm gonna hold off on that for a little bit. So, is Nier Automata controversial? Is that like heated? Is that something that's gonna rile up the chat? Had a really great first 3 hours. I don't play them. I have to look once I figure out. I see what you're saying. Okay. I don't like Evil Within 2 at all. Evil Within 1, I would have to replay it, but I think the game has a lot going for itself. Has really interesting strategies, and like just the general gunplay feels fucking amazing. Outside of like kind of the janky movement and all that. I do think the game has a lot of fucking downtime that I'm not really into. Fuck, there's like a lot of you mentioning Flower, Sun, and Rain. That makes me feel bad that I didn't finish it. I should play that, yeah. I remember this, Dennis, yeah. Not exactly, I don't think. So, okay, yeah, Antelope deserves S at least. Mark, I think I'm gonna disappoint you. So, I think I was actually thinking about this today, right? Like, thinking, oh, I'm gonna do the tier list again later, and like, I was thinking about Automata. I'm gonna talk about the combat first. I think, you know, there's a little bit more to it than I give it credit for sometimes. I think it's interesting in the sense that it's not... Obviously, it does copy some stuff from other Platinum games, but I like the increased emphasis on like shorter individual moves that you kind of put together into like your own little combos versus dial combos like you have in other Platinum games. And like, if you would look at combo videos in Nier Automata, they look super interesting. Just how much freedom of movement you have and how much freedom you have over the enemy's position is really fucking cool. But like, as a... so all that is great. I think mechanically there's some interesting stuff. But as an actual, like, combat game, right? The experience of fighting enemies, I think is very bad. Like, there's a lot in the game that's not well designed at all. I think even just the fact that you have the pod shot, where you can hold one button to fire continuously, while also doing all your other actions, right? So that means you never have a reason to just let go of the button at all. you never really have to make an interesting decision in that sense. And the designers, obviously, they knew this, so they made every enemy spongy as fuck, right? It takes forever if you don't always spam the shot, and it just feels like this really meaningless mechanic as a consequence. Yeah, I think Automata is more comparable to DMC than Bayo, and that's what makes it kind of interesting to me. Yeah. I think from that angle, it's worth checking out for sure. So, that's fair. Yeah. Like, the enemies are very spongy, but also they're not threatening at all. They don't have any kind of interesting movesets. They tend to have very few attacks with very, like, low frequency of attacks, generally. And the game, it has this weird dodge system where you can, like, dodge out of any attack, and you get iframes for days, but also you get this, like, weird parry stance where if you dodge, and if you then press an attack button, you immediately counterattack, right? And it's this one button solution to everything. It's so flexible. It's like even more sort of autopilot-y than, like, you know, MGR fucking parries. And I think as a consequence of that, they know they can't really do thoughtful enemies with those kinds of controls, so they just throw a lot of shit at you. And the balance is just so fucking whacked out with like, clearly they want you to just overpower yourself so that the waves of enemies don't fucking matter and you can just mash buttons. If you don't do that, if you're just a little bit under-leveled, the combat becomes a fucking nightmare. It is one of the most tedious fucking games, just from a basic combat experience, toward the end. Like, if you're even slightly underleveled, the enemies will not receive hit stun. You cannot launch them. And they just take forever to kill. And it's so frustrating. Yeah, kinda like Summon Swords, yeah. But as auto fire, it's way faster. But, like, that's the thing with the Summon Swords, you don't really use them for damage so much, you know? It's not like, I mean, DMC is, like, not a game where you're styling on a health bar for, like, a million hours, where you that's the thing, like, Automata has this design where every enemy just feels like a big health bar, you know? It doesn't feel like this entity you're actually engaging with. Yeah, kinda, yeah. Opinions on 9S hacking. So, I mean, 9S is, like, super not fun to play, just, like, in terms of, like, his melee shit, and I think that's pretty on purpose, right? Like, they want him to feel weak. But, like, the hacking, it just gets really old, you know? It's not, like, amazing, super engaging shmup gameplay, you know? I can't really say anything interesting on it, but, like, I do think it's nice that you can chain kill enemies. If you, like, hack one that's, like, close to your group, it will affect the whole group. That's kind of cool, but it gets really old. Oh, that sucks. Fuck. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Man, I was hating it. Honestly, I was like, first route, like, when I first got the first ending, I thought, fuck, this game is amazing. I loved the vibe of the world, and I was so intrigued by the setting and, like, the characters and, like, the themes presented, and, like, the combat, like, it's basic, but, like, it works, you know? You're kind of engaged. It kind of hits in a similar way that original Nier did, but then after that, it just went so insanely downhill for me. In terms of combat. Now, what I think, I don't want to spoil it too much, because, like, clearly a lot of you in chat haven't actually played it yet. But, like, the way the game conveys the sense of hopelessness and pointlessness. The way it kind of tacks all these plot twists on top of each other. Stacks them on top of each other, I should say. Yeah, I mean, see, I think, like, that is kind of part of the point, though. Like, I think it is supposed to be very frustrating, right? It's supposed to... You're supposed to question what the fuck is even the point of anything, you know? Until you realize what the game is trying to say at the very end, you know? And, I think it does that in such an incredibly brilliant way. Dude, the same thing happened to me. I was like about to uninstall the game after that. I wouldn't actually compare it to Zero Escape. I think Zero Escape is like about the shock of the plot twist, you know? And like obviously Zero Escape is great, right? Like the way everything comes together. I don't want to just boil it down to plot twists. But I feel like with Automata, like one criticism that I've heard is like, oh, the twists were super obvious. And like my response to that is like, dude, that's the point. Like the point is not that the twists are supposed to shock you. Like your emotional response to everything and like the way everything kind of unravels. Again, I'm trying to be vague about it, but like it is thematically as like a sci-fi story and like a story about sort of existentialism and fucking the human condition and all that. One of the greatest things in the medium. It's not something that personally hit me so much, but like just I cannot help but marvel at like the thoughtfulness of the writing and the concept behind it. So yeah, that's why I get why, you know, Mark was saying, it's gotta be S tier. I get it. I totally get it. But for me, I just have like kind of different priorities, so like I'm unfortunately gonna have to put it like in C tier probably. Yeah, I don't like Zero Escape 3, but let's not talk about that right now. I think I'd put it like here. I think that's fair. Below Devil's Third, actually, fuck, I don't know. I had more fun with Devil's Third. I had more fun with Samurai Jack, honestly. Fuck, I'm sorry. So let's see. I know Dennis was saying, oh yeah, Dennis, I know you love Zero Time. I get it, right? But like, I had a lot of disappointments with it, honestly. I guess Dennis, you were curious about Mad World and Anarchy Reigns, right? So Mad World, do you have more fun thinking of them? I get it. Probably not. Well, I don't know. I have a smile on my face when I think of it that sort. Anyway, Mad World. Aesthetic hits, soundtrack hits, fucking just the idea of this game is fucking great, as a gameplay concept as well. The biggest problem with it is that it just gets very fucking redundant. I figure you can probably optimize the fuck out of the stages, right? Like, the way you... Like, it's an action game where, you don't style on the enemies, you style on the level, kind of. You need to find shit inside the level to kill the enemies with, right? Has good combat? Not really. Like, it's not really a game of punching and kicking. It's more like you grab enemies and then you put them somewhere, right? And like you try to do that in a very time optimal way. It hurts to look at. See, interesting note on that. It's not actually black and white. It's actually a really pale yellow and black. Because white would be too hard on the eyes. Honestly, I think it looks fucking great. I love the way it looks, but like I can kind of see that, you know, it's a difficult, like it's a visually kind of busy game. Yeah, no, dude. The camera is like very close, like God, but like other than that, it's not like it at all. It's not similar at all. Like the gameplay is not similar, and even the movement is not similar. Also, Mark, one thing I will say also is that the PAL version of Mad World was very badly optimized. That's how I played it as well the first time, but like, if you have like a modded Wii, I would definitely try the American version. Yeah, I agree with you, Gogeta. So I think it's an interesting approach, but I like the game just gets very redundant, you know. It's yeah, it's like it's 50 hertz, so it's 25 frames and like it's squished. It's very bad. Which is like crazy because like damn. It's like crazy. Like it came out 2009, dude, and they still they did not have a 60 hertz mode. That is fucking insane. Like at that point, I mean, I remember Metroid Prime 2 in like 2005, 2004. I don't know. That was like forced 60 hertz in PAL because like I guess they didn't want to optimize it, but like that's better than doing a forced 50 hertz version. You know? Anyway, I think just finding shit in the level to kill enemies with, it's an interesting concept, but like it gets very old because like if you're unlucky, if your sense of direction is like kind of bad and like you don't really have a good lay of the land, you're gonna have a lot of downtime where you're just looking for ways to kill enemies to advance to the next stage, because like the way it works is that yeah, you find the interactables in the stage to kill enemies with, and the more elaborate you get is the more points you get, right? And you need to hit a certain point threshold to advance to the next stage. All that with like a time limit. Yeah, dude, like I think a remaster would actually make a lot of sense. That's a game that makes a lot of fucking sense. Well, actually, it's interesting because like Platinum at the time, they said the reason they put it on the Wii is because they felt HD didn't suit the art style, HD resolution, which is interesting. I guess I would have to look at the game like with dolphin footage. I'm curious how it looks like. Damn. Yeah, I think the game looks great. Honestly, I love the way it looks. But yeah, I think just the system, the way the game kind of fundamentally functions is a little bit flawed. I do think it's very fucking satisfying. The way the motion controls are implemented is very good. Like even just you grab guys by holding the A button, and then you can twirl the Wii remote to throw them. It's like that shit feels so good. I remember there was a part in the Digimon movie where the main guy, I think his name is Tai, he like pukes in this one girl's hat. That's the only thing I remember about it. They're like at a party and then he pukes in her hat. I don't think he's drunk. They don't drink yet, but something like that. He's like really sick and then he pukes in her hat. What's up, Frank? Yeah, well, I mean, I made like the case for Nier's story and stuff, but like, I just don't. I just, it's just so unenjoyable in its later parts, like as an action game. That yeah. So I don't know, man. I think it's definitely C tier. I have more fun with it than Automata. So, but like, wait, what the fuck? I get you, Frank, but like, I mean, I think thematically it's just so ambitious and like so interesting. I just don't know. Do I put it like? Fuck it. I'll put Mad World here. Fuck it. Actually, I don't know. I think Automata's just so memorable, like with the soundtrack and all that. Like, dude, DMC reboot not having a Tom button. That's definitely a fair point. That's definitely very fair. I don't know. Oh, Dylan, I actually get what you're saying, yeah. Dude, yeah, if I put fucking Samurai Jack over Automata, I probably need to put Mad World over it as well, yeah. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about Anarchy Reigns next. I guess on that note. I mean, these two games are not actually that related. They take place in the same world. I suppose that's fair. But they're not actually that similar. Well, the single player has a similar structure. Where it's like you're on a big stage and like you need to do different objectives, but I think that's actually way better executed. I think it's actually an interesting approach for like action games where it kind of feels like a Tony Hawk, you know, it feels like Tony Hawk structure, but it's a brawler, you know, where you have a big map, and in between like you can fight random enemies and shit, but then there's like big sort of singular points where you do the real shit, right? You do like these instance kind of missions, but they still take place on the same map. Dude, the soundtrack is great. Fuck. See you, Dylan. So, and like I think I can't say anything intelligent about the combat. It feels there's nothing like super fucking crazy about like the combat potential of this game, especially as a single player. Oh, what the fuck did I do? I almost ripped my headset off of my head. Yeah, Frank, I wonder, like, I really did not enjoy it at all. And, I honestly, I can't really recommend it. See, in your case, the main thing I would say against it is just the story is so irrelevant. You know, it, like, does not matter at all. It doesn't really, the game doesn't really do anything interesting with its world. Like, it just leaves you with such an empty-ass feeling. From that angle, I don't expect you to get anything out of it. So yeah, Anarchy Reigns. Like, the combat clearly is designed for PvP, but that's fine because the multiplayer in this game is fucking awesome. I didn't fucking super deep dive it. I always kind of want to. I'm in the Anarchy Reigns Discord, but I always like lurk there, and I don't actually play the game as much as I should. But like whenever I did play it, I had the time of my fucking life, and I just really, it's really sad that this game is like not easily playable now, you know, and it didn't make a bigger splash because I think that just the concept of like this battle royale, fucking 16 players, man-to-man fighting, like that sounds so obvious, and yet no one's really done it like that, and to that level of polish and to that level of success, I feel. And just even the single player, you know, I think the structure makes it very unique, and I think it's very cool. I could see it being way higher, but for now, I will put it. Yeah, if I played it way more, I could see it like going really high, right? But like, I think for now, I will place it here. No, I don't think that's accurate. I think the Western version did come out a little bit later, but I'm pretty sure the Japanese version also had single player. Yeah, if they just re-release it, honestly, that would make such a huge. I think now is like a way better time for this kind of game, you know. Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting, yeah. Yeah, like fuck man, like I don't want to be mean, right? But I feel like even people who say they like Astral Chain, they would never play it again, honestly. Like it's so replay unfriendly as well, and fuck man. It just does not hold up under scrutiny at all. Dude, for like All-Star Battle? That's cool. Okay. Dude, we're like really close to the end now. Okay. Let's do one more softball, and then we're left with like only heavy hitters really. Fury. I should play through this again actually, but like Fury is a pretty basic kind of boss rush. That's not very expressive. You don't like. I guess the most negative thing I will say about it, right? Like, it's easier to compare it to a game like Alien Soldier on the Mega Drive if you've played that. Like Fury is not like, it's not gonna get the chat heated, you know. I guess that's what I mean. I hope anyway. Yeah. That's a great point. That is true. Yeah, so Fury, you can compare it to Alien Soldier, where it's just a linear boss rush, and like you have a pretty contained set of mechanics to deal with those bosses. But like, oh, the recent Afro Samurai game. I haven't actually played that. I did actually play the first one, and it's kind of bad, but like, it's also kind of cool. Eh. Yeah, so maybe I should have included that, but like, I mean, the list is like big enough, right? Like, I guess like, you know, with like random ass kind of licensed games, it gets a little bit too unfocused. And yes, I realize Legend of Korra and like blah, but like, I mean, they're by, you know, they're from Platinum, so it's different. So Fury. Compared to like Alien Soldier, for example, right? Contained set of mechanics, linear boss rush. What Alien Soldier does way better is that the bosses are just a lot more dynamic. The AI has way more of a sense of randomness. Yeah, yeah, I read about that. Fuck, man. Like, Matthew said it in his streams really well that the alien soldier bosses, they feel like real entities that move around the stage, right? And especially with the counter mechanic and like all that stuff, it really feels like a dynamic fight. And I feel Fury, by comparison, is a little bit too pattern based, and it's a little bit too easy to optimize the fuck out of it. But I still think for what it is, it hits pretty hard. The first half of Samurai game, it's like pretty janky. It did Blade mode before Metal Gear Rising, and the art style is really great, but I wouldn't like super recommend it. A little bit, kinda. But like like I said, it's not very expressive, right? You don't really have influence over the bosses at all. And yeah, still nice. I think that's actually a good point. I mean, I think speedrun games should be less random. But I think as just a game, it feels less exciting to me because it's not very it's not very dynamic. Would I probably rush my actual boss? What does rush mean in this instance? Yeah, but like I said, for what it is, it's still pretty cool. It's a pretty fun game. I think the way they implemented the mechanics is pretty smart and elegant. The taunts in DMC4, I don't really like the taunt system in DMC4. I like the system DMC3 the most, where the taunts are like really short and they boost your style a lot. I think in 4, I still don't really get how the taunts like affect your style, and like I think they're just way too long. So yeah, I don't really use them. Beat up your boss, maybe attack him with a katana on your bedroom wall. I don't have a katana on my bedroom wall, like I said. And also, I probably wouldn't beat him up. Yeah, I can agree with this. I know, that's cool. Like, I mean, yeah, like the charge shot, for example, that it can do multiple things, and like the kind of difference between close quarters and ranged combat, and how smooth that transition happens. I think all that is pretty cool, and then how different the bosses feel as well. I like all of that. There's nothing really super bad about it. I do think when the game came out, like, people were kind of making a big fuss about it, like, oh fuck, this is like the next big action game. I don't think it really compares to like proper like expressive ass action games, right? But it's pretty cool. So I would probably put it around here. Actually, yeah, maybe here. Has it have only specific killers? Yeah, DMC3 has the best taunts for sure. What's up, Heather? I can't say that was on purpose, but like I guess that is lucky, yeah. I was trying to like get through some of the, lower key titles. But yeah, just like I like that the taunts in 3 are so dependent on like you attack an enemy, then you can taunt, and then it actually boosts your style a lot. I think it was just the most intuitive system, and it was the most satisfying system. And they should bring that back. So I guess, Heather, now that you're here, let's talk about Transformers. I think this game is really cool. There is some stuff holding it back. I think all the loot shit is kind of annoying and pointless. I think your core moveset, just hacking away at enemies, is not super satisfying. Yeah, I love that sound. Fuck. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. Like I definitely put it over DMC3. I think Dude, the Atari PS2 Transformers is actually lit. Oh, see you, Dennis. Yeah, so like the fucking slamming into guys with like the fucking car thing is really cool, and like just the way that transition kind of works between dodging and driving and all that is pretty interesting. Like I especially like you're like a little bit above an enemy in the air, for example, when you're like juggling them or whatever, and then you just hold the dodge button, and then you will kind of very smoothly just land on them with your car. It's like those kinds of mechanics that make the game feel pretty unique. At the same time, it does, like, just the way it copies switch time is kind of lame. I do like the third-person shooting shit. I think the way that's implemented is pretty interesting. But yeah, like, it's all. Yeah, it's also just like it's very sort of immediately satisfying just to hit things. Well, I'm contradicting myself a little. Not like hitting things with your melee attacks, but like ramming into guys with your car, you know, and like just the way it looks. All that is very cool. I don't really get a lot out of the different characters, honestly. I just stick to Bumblebee because it has the cool you can like slide underneath enemies. I feel like that's the most interesting move because with how it lets you extend combos. Yeah, I see what you mean with the level design. It's very sort of monotonous, and I don't remember there being so much downtime, but like, yeah, that's. I feel like that's a game I should play through again, honestly. Yeah, all that being said, I feel like it's just at the end of the day, I know Sorian, right? He's like super into this game, and like he sees a lot in it. There's like some pretty technical mechanics in it. But I don't know. It feels a little bit basic still at the end of the day, so that might be a good stream. I don't like the randomized weapons at all, honestly. I think it just feels very pointless. So I'll put it like. Yeah, this feels fine. Actually, no. Like this. Yeah, this is perfect. Yeah, I really don't understand what the point of the loot system was, honestly. Like, I mean, the weapons are so interchangeable kind of already. And maybe I'm speaking very much from memory, right? But like, I don't know. Oh, you would have to get a physical, I think, probably. You would have to get like a used copy. So yeah. What's up, Alan? Yeah, like I was mostly concerned with like the combat can be a little bit railroady with how much if it's focused on like the stun mechanic and like the fact that like a lot of the enemy attacks have hard counters. And then just also the emphasis on like gimmicks in every fucking single stage. That kind of put it down for me a little bit, but it's still, I could see it in S tier, you know, just not for me personally. Yeah, it's probably like some license thing, you know. Actually, I mean, yeah, like they removed TMNT from sale as well. But I think you can still buy Legend of Korra, right? So clearly there's some kind of difference. But I don't know. Oh. Yeah, I think, oh, Heather, you're talking about the lose thing. The lose thing, right? That, you mean that with publisher meddling, right? I don't know. Could be. But it seems a little bit random, you know? It seems like a random thing to suggest from like a publisher, and it seems like Activision are very concerned with like not having so much creative control over their Japanese games, like with Sekiro as well. I agree with this. I get what you're saying, yeah. I feel like maybe it was like because it's like multiple characters or whatever, and then they wanted some kind of like overarching system to tie them together. I don't fucking know. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Let's move on. I guess I'll do God Hand next. God Hand. Now I haven't done a full playthrough of God Hand in a long time. That's like one thing that's like big on my fucking list right now. I really want to play God Hand right now, just through all of it. But it's like, sure. It's like honestly one of my favorite games to just play the first level of. Yeah, I'm not gonna make a big deal about it. It is an S tier for sure. Well, I'm gonna move there later. Like, oh, what's up, Nandas? I think KH1 was like just a really pleasant, nice experience, yeah, overall. There's nothing super bad about it, and like it's also, well, there's some really fucking duds in terms of the stages, but like I think for the time it's very impressive, and I still have a lot of fun with it today, and like I just have a lot of fun memories with it. I don't know if God Hand is that flawed, honestly. I feel like just the camera is very smart for what it is. It's a very smart way to not have you deal with like lock on and even rotating the stick, and then they use the stick for something that is legitimately that's not what I said. They use the stick for something legitimately really interesting that adds a lot to the game. I think God Hand, what it does really well is like enemy aggression and like having to have this like overall awareness of the stage, right? The way, kind of like Ninja Gaiden, right? You can interact with walls, but it feels even crazier in God Hand where the way you slam enemies into each other, the way you slam them into walls, the way you trip them up, like everything, like the way moves set each other up is so thoughtful and so deliberate and like so clear and like logical and intuitive. And every single millisecond of gameplay feels so built around that, you know? It feels like it really takes full advantage of that. And I love the fact, like, the whole move customization system is really great. But because so much is, like, contextual still at the same time, and, like, clearly they start you with all the basic shit that you need, right? So, you feel like you can start playing and start having fun immediately, right? You really don't need to, you don't feel gimped at all by the sense of like having to unlock shit, even though the moves that do unlock, they do add something substantial. And I like that, you know, because of how the move customization works, it gives the game this really interesting sense of randomness. You can get moves as random loot drops, and then like that can change your whole playthrough, the way you slot them into your overall list. And just generally, the way the game does randomness. Like, obviously, the enemy behavior and the aggression and all that, that's already one thing that I mentioned that makes the game really dynamic, right? But, like, enemies being able to, like, randomly double trigger sometimes. Enemies, like, the difficulty thing, right? That the difficulty is affected by your performance. That gives this game this really like it's literally not unpredictable, but it is always different, right? And it's just this thing that you have to so dynamically adjust to, and it's like it guarantees that the game is always fucking fun to play. It's just so interesting to think about for me that even the first couple stages in God Hand, if you're really good at the game, they can actually be insanely hard because you keep increasing the difficulty as as you keep performing well. And that's just something that no other action game can really match, honestly. And Matthew Matosis said it best. There's no other game that nails the feeling of beating the shit out of people better than God Hand. And that's why I struggle between God Hand or DMC4. I think I get a little bit more expression out of DMC4. So I'm gonna put DMC4 slightly above it, but like they're basically equally as good. They're both 10s, right? They're both 10s. Every game in here is a 10. But God's biggest flaw was being unremasterable. Honestly, I feel like it would hit if they remaster it today. I get what you're saying, Destiny Spider. The problem is I just haven't finished the game in such a long time that and maybe it's foolish as well to rank it so high when I'm a little bit like I said, a lot of what I'm saying is like based on me playing the first level of God Hand like every day instead of just playing through the whole game again, like for once. But yeah. Damn. But see, I think the roulette suits the vibe of the game, though. You know, like just the randomness. I kind of like that. I suppose that's fair. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Like I think that's totally fair. I think. I mean, this game and DMC1 and also Ninja Gaiden as well, they could just use a chapter select and they don't have it and it's kind of annoying, yeah. How do you feel about hard mode? I see what you're saying, Destiny Spider. You know, I hear this argument that, like, actually fighting the enemies consistently on level die is actually more fun. But because the game becomes way more about counter hits that way. I would have to explore the hard mode more. But I think, you know, kind of like with Resident Evil 4, I feel like part of what makes the game cool is that it is dynamic, right? That, like, the fact that your dodge timings have to be different depending on the difficulty. The game ends up feeling a little more dynamic on the normal mode, so I think overall I do prefer that. I think I just find that more interesting about the game than a static level of difficulty. But I think it's good that it's there as an option. I talk about DMC4 way more. I mean, that's true. I've been playing DMC4 more lately, so I guess that's one reason. Any thoughts on Vanillaware games? Love them. But I guess, you know, I said this last night, but, like, I didn't want to open the beat 'em up door, you know? I think, like, the list would just get way too broad. Yeah, exactly. That's better. That's fucking great. Yeah. I think the control scheme is just too hard to change without, like, fundamentally altering it, you know? Like, if you actually wanted to make it more accessible, you would have to basically add strafing, right? And then they would have to fuck with the game way more than I think that they're willing to. So I think they would actually leave it untouched, honestly. Dude, you have weed? I want weed. Yeah, dude, Ryan Godwin is like, fuck. Oh, it's so good. Let me turn on my TV real quick, wait, because I want some more light in my room. Okay. So, oh my god, we're almost done, dude. Alright. Yeah, that's God Hand. Love it. And like, it's a little bit, I mean, it has kind of the Resident Evil 4 effect where it doesn't really have that sort of satisfaction of like movement, you know? You don't, like, Gene does not really feel like he's inhabiting the world so much. The way he moves is kind of rigid and like, it's not like a loose game like a lot of these other games here. That's like, honestly, that's the only big weakness that God has, but at the same time, it's like kind of what makes the game what it is. So, I'm totally okay with that. I guess it's just that's why it doesn't appeal to me quite as much as Steam C4 on like a purely subjective basis. That's accurate. Like, damn. I see what you're saying, Nessie Spider. That's the thing is, like, as fucking perfect as God Hand is, you can't help but think, man, a sequel would be cool. Like, there's so much more they could do with it. Fuck, man, I don't know. Yeah, so let's talk about Zone of the Enders real quick, and then we'll wrap it up with Bayonetta. So I'll compare these games with each other, actually. Because my, oh, I get what you're saying, Luke. I think that's actually fair. I mean, you have the one trip move. I think the trip move gives you, like, a nice, pretty immediate crowd control method, right? But then also, when you side dodge, Gene will kind of lock on to the nearest enemy, I guess, and that gives you a pretty clear idea of who you're gonna hit. I feel like God Hand is like, it's the kind of game that a lot of devs love to like reference, but they don't actually, you know, do it justice. It's very sad. So, Zone of the Enders. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. People will always tell you that Zone of the Enders 1 feels like kind of this basic ass blueprint for what Zone of the Enders 2 would be. And I can see, while I can see what they mean with that, I think Zone of the Enders 2 is actually kind of bogus for the most part. Like, there's a lot of stages in this game and a lot of missions that are actually really bad. There's a lot of escort shit. There's a lot of fucking, there's like this one godforsaken fucking level where you need to like go through this like minefield. And like there's so many levels where you need to like carry shit and oh, it's bad. Like the game itself is still sick and it's like a really fast-paced, tight action game. And like it does feel more polished. It does feel more hype than the first game. It has higher highs for sure, but the lows are so low. I don't really remember the bosses that much, honestly. Dude, oh, Destiny Spider, fuck. I just remember the first time I played God Hand and I did the like slapping QTE with the big guys, and then Gene like did the big slap at the end, and then he shouted like, "Urgh!" I don't think I ever popped off harder at a game than like the first time I did that. Fuck, dude. Oh, I'm sorry, Ariel. I guess you can catch the VOD later, you know. So yeah. Honestly, I think Zone of the Enders 2, like, again, really high highs, but really low lows. I really want to try that remaster because they actually changed a lot about it, and you know, I want to know if they might have fixed some stuff, or improved some stuff, I should say. But honestly, I had a, like, as basic as the first game kind of feels, with like the weird world map and like the random missions. I think overall I still had a better time with it, honestly. I think both games are really cool, but I don't think either game goes above B tier. Honestly, I think my impression right now is I would probably put Zone of the Enders, like, Zone of the Enders 2, like, actually, I don't know. I find Devil's Third less annoying to play, honestly, than Zone of the Enders 2. I guess I'll put it this here, and then I'll put Zone of the Enders 1, like, here. That feels accurate. So, is that controversial? Do we have, like, Zone of the Enders fans in chat? Okay, let's get to Bayonetta. And, like, so my genius idea was that, obviously, at the start of the stream, I said, yeah, blah, I'm gonna put Bayonetta and DMC2 as, like, a frame of reference immediately, right? This is the best an action game can be, and this is the worst an action game can be, right? Wait, I was always concerned you never put one game between Bayonetta and DMC1. That's supposed to be nice, dude. Oh! I mean, I love DMC1. But I think, I mean, I'm pretty vocal about God Hand DMC4, I think. So, yeah. Yeah, I guess, see, I know if I share this on Twitter, I'm gonna get shit on a lot. But, like, I guess over, like, here, we're fine. Let me actually check the 21 viewers, what the fuck? Okay. So, the thing is, obviously DMC2, right? It's the worst an action game can be, because it, like... Someone sort of presented me with this interesting thought experiment a while ago. Wait. Where they basically posed this idea that what if, I mean, DMC2 feels really bad to play, right? It's not, it doesn't have this inherently sort of satisfying, just feel to it. Yeah, I'm gonna put the actual tier list on Twitter when it's on, yeah. Like, actually, even just, like, on a basic ass level, hitting things in DMC2 is not fun, right? That is true, and those people are kind of wrong. So... DMC2 is not fun to play on any fucking level, right? Let's imagine, like, a DMC2 that, like, looks and feels to play exactly the same. But it's, like, actually, like, the enemy design is, like, super engaging and, like, and interesting, and, like, there's something that the game is doing that, like, makes it way more strategic and, like, thoughtful than the current version, right? The thing is, those kind of thought experiments are kind of pointless. Like, it's basically... we're asking ourselves, okay, how important is polish in games, right? Is it the most important thing? Like, just visual, like, surface level polish? And, like, I mean, to a certain extent, you just can't separate sort of surface level polish and, the actual, like, combat, strategic, whatever experience, right? Like, at a certain point, like, good animations and frame data and shit, right? Like, that is gameplay. That is, like, that is a huge factor, you know? In how fucking, like, it's gonna have an overall overarching impact on every part of the design, right? My personal take is that polish is something that can really add to a game, and I think it's important. If DMC2 was a Bayonetta 2, you mean like a polished game that kind of sucks? Yeah, so I keep losing my train of thought. My personal opinion is that like polish, it's great to like hit a certain threshold with that. I do think that's pretty important, right? Like if like that's the thing. There's just no version of DMC2 that looks and feels the same, but is fun, right? I don't see that kind of scenario, right? You look at some, but like you look at all these games, right? Like yeah, like you look at a Legend of Korra or Samurai Jack or whatever. I feel like those games could be a lot better without really putting more budget into them, right? Halo is like my favorite series to look at with that, because I do think like up to Reach, a lot of the Halo games are not very polished, right? They feel just visually and like in terms of the sound design and like they feel kind of limp and kind of, you know, they're not like a Doom 2016 where it's like fucking just every millisecond of interaction makes you want to come, you know. It's not like that, but they meet like a certain threshold that makes them enjoyable to play, and then the actual game design does the actual heavy lifting, right? And then what you end up with is a legendary game, right? DMC2 is like, it's unironically extremely fucking bad. Would you say Astrogen is polished? Like, I'd say there's nothing really wrong with like the way it looks or the way attacks feel. I do think, I mean, 30 FPS is kind of and like the game feels slow, but like I guess that's more of a design thing than a polish thing. So yeah, it's like it's a fine line. Yeah, if it was bad but successful enough to be iterated on itself, yeah, okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So Bayonetta 2. Why is this relevant, right? Why is all this relevant? Because Bayonetta 2 is like, it's the most fucking polished version of DMC2. What that shows you, dude, damn. It shows you that polish does help, right? Like, clearly it's enough that a lot of people feel that this is a great game, right? A lot of people had a great time with this game, and it's exactly what they look for in action games, right? That's funny. So it does help, right? Like I sincerely, like when people say they like this game, it's not like I don't believe it, right? Obviously they like this game, and like I think their reasons for liking it are valid. But the game is DMC2, fundamentally, right? If you strip away all the polish, it is like, you have so many fucking attacks that don't fucking matter. Like, I don't even know where to begin. Like, it's this combination of unengaging enemies, interactions that don't have any fucking, you know, meaningful impact. Like, poorly designed systems with the scoring, with hit stun, with launching enemies. You have a lot of obvious great things from the original, that were removed, right? Like, a lot of the finer nuances both in DMC1 compared to DMC2, and then Bayonetta 1 compared to Bayonetta 2 are gone. They're so similar in those ways. And Bayonetta 2 tries to be like the most fucking polished version of that, right? And I can see why, based on that, it does succeed for people, but for me, it does not at all. And please talk about the eel. I know you, Mark. I know you hate the eel, but like, it's like whatever. Sorry, I keep hitting the mic. Holding R2 turns off that annoying ass auto lock on. Do you mean L2? I mean, I think Bayonetta is like very much built. Well, the lock on and the camera in Bayonetta 2 are worse than the original, so but like I haven't played it in a while, so. No, we are kind of combining Bayonetta 2 and fucking DMC2. Yeah, I think Antelope, that's actually a good point. Like Yakuza, definitely. Umbral Climax. Fucking Umbral Climax, dude. This is fucking it. Like, people think that makes the game, like, amazing suddenly. Like, just the fact that it doesn't have these obvious fucking sort of things that push you away, like Bayonetta 1 had. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Okay, yeah. Thank you for clarifying. I didn't even know that. Do you think Bayonetta 2 had death travels on my first streamlining? I really don't know what happened, honestly. A lot of the staff was very different. You know? So, I think maybe it's just a philosophical thing. I really could not tell you what happened. I remember Platinum saying that they were kind of taken aback with how hands-on Nintendo get with their games. So that kind of suggests that, yeah, maybe their whole process was just kind of messy. I don't know, before Nintendo stepped in. I'm not sure. Honestly, no. Like, Platinum have not really hit it for me in a long time. Like, outside, like, I don't have the impression that they are actually even, like, super aware of the feedback from Beta 2. From, you know, more from, fans of the first game. So, I think this game is, like, probably better than, like, Astral Chain. As much as I'm shitting on it. Peaked in 2010. Yeah, I think that's fair. Well, I mean, they did Wonderful 101 after that still, in 2013. But, like, that was the last time that, like, a game that I thought was, like, fucking amazing. It's just there's so many fucking bosses in this game where you're, like, hitting a health bar, you know? Where it feels like a big sponge. And that's crazy for a game that's a sequel to Bayonetta 1, you know? Like, yeah, you definitely should give 101 a shot. I'm not sure you would like it, but I think you could at least, like, appreciate that it's a great game, you know? Even if it doesn't personally appeal to you. Hopefully. No, I never want to play DMC2 again. I'm sorry. If I get, like, fucking a bigger... Maybe I should do a donation goal or something. I'll raise my Patreon, but... oh, what's up, Sash? We're almost done. I just wanna... Yeah, so I just positioned Bayonetta 2. I think on a first playthrough, all the gimmick stuff is actually less distracting than it is on subsequent playthroughs. I think I'm mostly now annoyed with it because I just want to get to the combat so bad. Okay. Well, Frank, I feel like maybe the game will surprise you, you know? I feel like if you give it an honest shot, the story might actually surprise you. I feel like from the outside, you're not super interested in it, but like, there's probably more to it than you expect. I think so. This front but it's impossible to make a sequel to a comic game. It's actually good unless you totally reinvent the. Yeah, exactly. Like the point of comparison is just too strong. Yeah. Like that's the. I feel like they could have copied Bayonetta 1's system pretty much one to one. Oh shit. Okay. I see what you're saying. Okay. See, if you played it a good amount already, then I can understand why it didn't hit for you. But like, yeah, like let's say they copy Bayonetta 1's system one to one, but then they like, I think you still need someone like Kamiya with like a strong vision to actually build a campaign around it, you know? And not just like, if you just reuse the same scenarios and the same enemies, then what the fuck is the point? Then it's like, then I still wouldn't think it's a good sequel. So yeah. If you were able to create an action game, how would you do it? What game elements would you take from others? I don't want to say too much on that, honestly. I have ideas, but the two games I would like to take the most from are like DMC1. No, the three games, sorry. DMC1, DMC4, and Ninja Gaiden Black. Or Ninja Gaiden, you know. Those are the three games I'm like looking at the most currently. I think all that split screen stuff is definitely a lot more intuitive in the remaster, as ironic as that sounds. So yeah, Bayonetta 1, right? Why is this game number one? It's my favorite game of all time. It's my favorite action game. I think I guess that, yeah. I guess that is interesting, yeah. I don't know, man. Like, I think maybe, you know, Ryan, maybe the reason is that I feel like Bayonetta is just, everything in Bayonetta is like aiming for the same goal. You know, everything is like, all the individual elements feel so tightly crafted around each other that it's very hard to take away one single thing from Bayonetta 1 and then use it in something else, you know? Yeah, that's it. I'm sorry. It's International Women's Day. Well, actually, it's not International Women's Day anymore, so now I can say, yeah, I guess I just want to objectify women, yeah. I'm able to say that now. And I think, honestly, yeah, so what I said earlier, that is the flaw with a lot of Platinum's later games. They try to take individual elements from Bayonetta, and it just doesn't fucking work. I still, Infinite Space is the one game I still need to play, actually. So what I mean when I say that with like Bayonetta, everything is so like blah, tightly crafted. It's like it hits that perfect sweet spot of a game that's like really expressive, has like inherently super fucking fun controls and movement, with like a legitimate sense of like flow and inertia and not. I mean, the game is floaty compared to DMC, but like not in a way that, like, it's not floaty like DMC5, you know? It still feels tight and heavy somehow at the same time, you know? Exactly. MGR has dodge offside the means of something, I think. So it does those two things, right? It has very freeform combo system, inherently fun controls, but also this really tight scoring system. It's a game that gives you a lot of creativity, but at the same time it has these very intricate and thought out rules that are perfectly woven into the actual mechanics, as well as the enemy design. And it's like so, like, it's so incredibly specific that it's like actually, it's like crazy for me to believe that someone came up with that, you know? Like, with the system that, yeah, where like the enemies are insanely aggressive, so we're giving you this option to continue your combos after a dodge, right? You can basically do anything out of any action, but you then actually have to do that execution-wise. You have to pull that off. And then if you don't do that, it will tank your score. Like, that sounds so obvious, but it's like no other game really does that, while still, again, having this extreme sense of freedom still. It's kind of incredible. And like, yeah, like, if I just think about Grace and Glory or Joy, like, the sense of aggression and the way you juggle them and the way you really have to play with the systems, you have to very intentionally play with the systems to gain an advantage. Like, even just the magic system, right? Like, this decision of, okay, I can save a magic for torture attacks, or I can use it on quick launchers, or I can just slowly build up to a launcher. The way the weapons are implemented. Like, the fact that Onyx Roses, for example, and Scarborough Fair have the same moveset, but, like, the properties of your attacks are so insanely different, and that, like, it ties both into the enemy design as well as the score. That is genius. Like, Antelope, I think on the surface that is fair, right? Like, you could say angel weapons are kind of broken. But at the same time, I actually like it because, if you play thoughtfully, you can combo in any fucking whatever way you want, right? Without really paying attention to, like, Wicked Weaves as much. And then balance out your score with angel weapons. I really like that. That it gives you that freedom, you know? It's still, the scoring system is not so strict that you can't still find your own style. And that's why I like the differentiation between Platinum and Pure Platinum as well, because Platinum still feels like, okay, it's like basically the highest score, but then you can get the cherry on top of Pure Platinum. So, like, if you do the, in the stage, fucking, after the intro, right? The first Vigrid stage. If you do the, Beloved's boss fight at the fountain, you actually need a lot of fucking points to, get a platinum score in that fight, in that verse. And you have a lot of opportunities in that verse to use angel weapons, right? So clearly the designers knew, yeah, we give you a lot of angel weapons here, but you actually have to use them to meet the score requirement. Clearly it's something that we're aware of, right? They didn't just, like, they did just make it broken and then not realize it was broken, you know? It's like, it seems pretty intentional. Yeah, Gujita, I agree with this, yeah. I wouldn't, that's the thing, like, it's a situational cheese, you know? Like, you have to actually set up for it with the torture attacks as well. It's like, oh, fuck, it's so good. Exactly. It's a much better concentration meter. I agree with that. Yeah, I don't know if there's any fucking other weapon in any action game that's so satisfying, honestly. Like, and the way, like, this balance of, it's like a nice way to stun some of the heavier enemies, like with Grace and Glory or Joy, but it's not very good for scoring, right? So you have to balance that, and that's so fucking cool. And then in that scenario, like using the angel weapons to again balance out your score, I love that. I don't know. Yeah, like, you might say it's kind of weak that so many of the weapons in Bayonetta share movesets, but in reality, the property differences actually have a bigger impact on gameplay than, Bayonetta 2, for example, where, yeah, every weapon has, like, different animations, but because of the way the system is designed, they barely fucking matter, you know? Like, it's actually crazy how much impact all the weapons have in Bayonetta, despite having relatively similar animations and stuff. And then still, you have really unique weapons like the whip, for example, that really change the game a lot. Like, it feels like this game is just doing everything. Like, you can do fucking afterburner kick, like, away from an enemy, and it's kind of like fucking, guard flying in DMC. And then you can teleport back and, like, just do all sorts of crazy fucking nonsense. You have a version of Snatch. You can bump enemies into each other like Beautiful Joe and, like, God Hand. This game is just so all-encompassing. It hits on every fucking single front. It has to be number one, right? It has to be just the number one action game. There's some action games for me that scratch itches that Bayonetta doesn't scratch as much. But, like, as a singular fucking thing, it's the perfect action game. It's the best one. And, like, even, like, how thoughtfully the fucking, the arms and legs thing, you know, like, that you equip weapons to both your hands and feet. And that they realized, oh, fucking, cycling between melee weapons and guns is kind of convoluted, so we just tie them into sets and then make the kick weapon like a more substantial thing, right, than the guns are in DMC. That's fucking genius. And, like, it's the one game where, like, just linearly cycling between weapons actually feels very intuitive. You know, it's the one game where I don't like in DMC3 and in DMC4 with Dante, and DMC5, I always have this, like, sense of confusion, you know, like, with when should I switch weapons and, like, what fucking weapon am I on? It's like, especially, like, when I want to use a gun on the fly, you just don't really fucking, it's something that is a little bit unintuitive, you know? And, like, in Bayonetta, it's just so fucking, it just flows. It just flows. I'll see you, Timo. Sorry, I didn't see that earlier. You just kill the enemies very fast, and you don't have a lot of consecutive hits with the Onyx Roses. With Scarborough Fair, you get points for, like, every single bullet. And that adds up. You can freeze enemies with it, and then throw them and stuff, and that's cool. And also you get fast movement speed without having to use Beast Within. And also, I like the 360 kick move, where you kind of kind of stay in place and you can kind of juggle the enemy with that. It's pretty cool. I don't really go for perfect parry specifically. I recommend trying trips, like tripping them up. I recommend the witch twist. So it's dodge plus punch. Costs 3 magic orbs. So, like, launch them and stuff. And also Onyx Rose is very good. Or, like, Tetsu Zanko with the sword as well. It's pretty cool. How floaty is Bayonetta? It's not floaty in the way Kingdom Hearts floaty. You know, like the attacks themselves feel very tight and powerful. But Bayonetta she just has a lot of airtime, you know. But like I don't know, it doesn't feel floaty in the same way that DMC5 does. In DMC5, it feels very bad to me, and in Bayonetta it just feels tight and smooth. I'm not sure how to explain the difference, but yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. I wouldn't call Bayonetta like really floaty. Even it's like it's floaty in the literal sense that Bayonetta like it just has airtime, right? But it doesn't feel floaty. It feels tight. Yeah, it's like the only game where the dial combos actually make sense. You know, like clearly the dial combos, the combo paths, they have such a clear logic to them. Where, oh, if you kick, you end your combo, but then if you punch after a kick, you do like a launcher, generally. Or if you do a pause combo, you do a launcher. And like the way you build up to different attacks, and then you can decide on the fly to do something different, that is so genius. And no other game does that. I think in 2D games I would make a separate list because like it would get too big that way. Solid Offset, love it. I do like Moon River. Is that fighting game thing of continuing to follow your dream work? Oh yeah, I got what you're saying, yeah. Yeah. Well, I do think, the sort of it came out earlier in chat that with Snatch and DMC4 you kind of have this natural sense of inertia and weight, and like with when you pull yourself towards some enemies you keep flying, and that's really fun, and that's something the Bayonetta doesn't do. But I like that they found a way to like you know, you can pull yourself toward enemies and you can pull enemies toward you. And it's one button, you know, they found a way to do it with just one button. It's very smooth and intuitive. And then you can also still, like, throw the enemies around, and it's definitely best. So yeah, that's the list. I think we're done. That's my explanation for why Bayonetta is number one. Still is not the top. And like, the only real criticism that I personally have of Bayonetta is like the bosses. I think John and Balder are great, but everyone else is like, everyone else doesn't really play to the strengths of the mechanics that much. They're not offensive at all. It's not like DMC3 where they're actively fucking annoying, but like I think the platforming and all that stuff, it does add something to the game. It does feel like it's worthwhile. But clearly it's like not as cool as John, for example, or it's not as cool as like Kratos or a lot of DMC4's bosses even, generally. JRPG, that would actually be interesting. But, I mean, there's too many JRPGs, so, that'd be fun, but it's very late. I need to work tomorrow, so, yeah, I'd say that's probably the weakest boss in the whole game, because the surfing makes it feel very slow. Oh, Halo tier list is actually interesting. That's actually a great idea. But I would probably have to play 4 and 5 again to do that, and I'm not sure I want to. I still need to. I'm on. I finished Halo 3 on my replay marathon. So now I need to play ODST and Reach soon at some point. I'm not that in the mood for ODST, honestly. I kind of just want to jump into Reach. But no, yeah, I know I liked ODST, so if it would feel wrong to skip it. TFC enemy tier list. Okay. FPS tier list in general. I mean, there's a lot of FPS games as well. I think genre, like with action games, it's like such a specific niche that it's like kind of fine. But FPS is like difficult, I feel. And like, I mean, here some games were missing, like Lords of Shadow 2, I guess, could have still fit, and I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I'm not crazy about the Eternal. Dude, Heather, I've been wanting to do a Kanye tier list, but I know a lot of my audience would not give a shit. It's Wait a minute. Pizza topping tier list. Yes. Did you mention that, Yujita, the first time? Someone else mentioned it, I think. That might be a good idea. Yeah, same, Frank. I feel like kind of a FPS noob. YouTube critic videos. Critique. Oh, like I thought you meant like actual YouTubers, but if it's videos, then that's also very hard. Heather, I was like thinking I should just do a Kanye tier list very quickly, like 5 minutes, because nobody's really gonna care about it. But like, I mean, I have like an audience right now, and like, you know, and you just asked for it, so I'm like, wait, let's see. Damn. I am putting this on Twitter, yeah, for sure. I'd watch Kanye videos. Okay, cool. I just want to know where users will fall in your ranking. Is this comprehensive? Oh, it looks like it goes. Oh, it doesn't have Jesus as king, so I guess that doesn't work. Wait. Yeah, sorry, I put the thing on standby. Okay, let's go. Well, Frank, I'm about to end the stream, so if you're willing to watch a real quick Kanye tier list, then I maybe, you know, maybe stick around. Okay, let's go through this really quick. Actually, this might be harder than I expected. Fuck. So wait. I won't put anything in S tier yet. Wait, I want to sort out my thoughts. I want to sort out my thoughts first. Okay, so Yeezus, Life of Pablo, Dark Fantasy, and 808s and Heartbreak are definitely my favorites. Also, Kitsy Ghost. I kind of think of Kitsy Ghost a little differently, but like, you know, I somehow in my brain it's like I don't know, somehow I don't really put it next to the other albums, but like obviously it's like, you know, whatever, right? See ya, Frank. Okay. I actually listened to College Dropout again the other day, and I think it's very good. I think I like Late Registration a little more. This is a very generic tier list, I'm realizing, by the way. These are very generic opinions. So far. Wait, Graduation is good, but it has some real duds on it. It feels pretty old. Watch the Throne is actually surprisingly great. In parts, it has some not very good songs on it, but like, whatever. I'd probably put it over Graduation. Wait, let's worry about that later. Fuck. I mean, Jik is obviously the worst, and then Yay. I don't know how I feel about Yay anymore. there's the Jict here. So yay, the thing about it is like I think it's a pretty emotional album and it hits pretty hard. But it feels also very basic and very skeletal, as Fantano might say. Like a song like you know, Wouldn't Leave and I Thought About Killing You and Ghost Town. Oh, what the fuck? Oh, sorry. God. Yeah, so songs like Ghost Town and Wouldn't Leave and Thought About Killing You, they hit really hard. Honestly, there's some cool songs on yeah, I don't know. Fuck. Oh, this is hard. Shit. Okay, you know what? So, recently I've thought Life of Pablo is probably my favorite. Should I only do... Fuck, man. Okay. Life of Pablo is probably my favorite. I feel like it's just such a balanced album while also feeling really like an interesting concept, you know? It feels very scattered and like confusing and messy and like it has this like vibrant kind of summery feel to it that I really like. He has an album I like more because of how much I remember the overall. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeezus fucking great. Like, obviously, you kind of like the Yeezus era is very weird. Like, there was a lot of fucking cut stuff that we don't know about. The album changed a lot before it came out. But I do feel like the album being so I forget how to speak. The album, the fact that it is so short is kind of why it's good. Like it's one thing that it's one record that I just love to throw on randomly, you know? Because it hits so hard so immediately. Especially with like even On Sight, as dumb as it seems, it actually legitimately does what it sets out to do. You know, it's called a fucking On Sight. It's called On Sight. Definitely easy S tier. Honestly, so actually this feels pretty accurate. Yeah, I actually like this. Yeah, you know what? I think this is actually good. Wait. Dude, I love Yeezus. I feel like honestly liking Yeezus is like has become kind of an obvious opinion. I feel like a lot of people like Yeezus now. Yeah. Like I can see the point that it's actually not so like not as edgy as like Kanye would like to believe it is. But I think for what it is, like a mainstream kind of pop album, I do think the glitchiness and still it being very minimal and very loud, that combo I think still works really well. So okay, my thing is like I think Blame Game is kinda eh. And like Blame Game has that one really bad glitch on it that like once I heard it I was like, oh fuck. But like I keep remembering that song as like not very great part of the album. But still overall, I mean there's not much you can like there isn't really much bad you can say about Dark Fantasy. I do think it feels a little bit more less distinct, I guess, than T-Lop and Yeezus, you know? Like Kanye himself has said, yeah, it was kind of his backhanded apology. He kind of wanted to make an album that everybody would like and that nobody would have complaints with. And that makes it, like, you feel that and kind of makes it less interesting than T-Lop or Yeezus. Okay, I don't want to go much longer on this. I think 808s doesn't have, like... It has, like, some songs that are not that fun, you know? Actually... Fuck, I need to look at the song list right now. Wait, give me 1 sec. Oh. Music is great. Yeah, actually, no. Now I'm looking at the, like, Robocop is kind of lame, and, yeah, Robocop, that's it. Like, honestly, everything else I think hits really hard. I think just the emotional impact of 808s is, incredible. There's so many songs on the album that make me cry. And I think... like, as a thing, as like overall project, it is messy and like not as polished as like Dark Fantasy. But I think for that reason, I'd still put it over Kitsy Ghost. Kitsy Ghost is obviously great. We need to really talk about it. I think Reborn is like the only real, like, that's the only song I would skip on it. Everything else feels very unique and very like just this combo of this very organic rock sound with I hate saying psychedelic because it's such an overused word, right? But it genuinely feels very trippy in a way that's different from Yeezus, for example. I guess because it has like this organic but also spacey and I don't know, smooth quality to it. And I think most of Cuddy's performances are pretty great on it as well. And then I probably do this, and then like this. Yeah. I think, as much as I think Ye has a lot of fucking flaws, I think just the emotional raw impact of it is still pretty cool. And like, I mean, the number of like, there's so many memorable lines on Ye, honestly. You can't fuck with that. How many people, wait, I want to just know how many people left. Yeah, like, I lost half my viewers when I started doing Kanye tier list. But that's fine. See, that's, Heather, if you're still here, that's why I did that now instead of in its own stream. I guess Destiny's Spider, I mean, I guess a lot of people used to listen to music like that at some point in their life, but like, I mean, I'm more of an album person now. So, Heather, if you're still here, do you have anything to say on this list? How wrong am I? How upset are you at this? Oh. Like, I mean, in my brain, I always put, like, you know, it's, like, always kind of like this. But, like, I try to make it a little more interesting and actually really sort out my feelings. So I think, what does your tier list look like? I'm really curious. I'll see you, Antelope. Yeah, I'm about to end the stream, too. Very shortly. Everything in D tier. I remember you saying that you like College Dropout and Ye, and everything else is trash. I remember you saying that. But I was wondering if you still feel that way. Yeah, I'll give it like 2 more minutes and then I'll close it. Later restrictions my favorite in Yay 2. Oh, okay. That's cool that you appreciate Yay. I feel hesitant to say that I like Yay online, you know, I think for obvious reasons. Later, like, I can see why a late registration is so many people's favorite. I think that's totally fair. I guess, I mean, yeah, late registration, I think it has that. I mean, College Dropout as well, but like, they have a really personal feel to them while still being very much pop albums, yeah. Which I guess for the time was really neat, right? And I like, you know, the progression between College Dropout and then late registration being so much about like Kanye dealing with like his success and like the fact he has money now and the way people look at him because of that. I think that's a really cool angle. And just the sound of late registration is very funky compared to his other projects. So I get it. I think it's a fucking cool album. But I guess I'm done. I'm done for tonight. Yeah, this is like last night's stream and today's stream. Probably two of the most fun streams that I did, honestly, so far. I have a lot of plans for just YouTube in general this month. I still need to do some setup and preparation. But I want to have like a big channel update this month. Especially if some of you may remember, I had this Patreon post where I explained sort of my current situation. It's kind of gonna build off of that. I've kind of finally figured out what I want to do with the channel, and yeah, dude. I know what direction I'm gonna take everything now, and like how I'm gonna handle the Patreon as well. So I hope you're excited for that. Still, like I have work tomorrow, like I said. So tomorrow, on my break, I'm gonna organize some stuff, like look at Final Cut, look at Logic a little bit to sort of get into the groove with those, with that software, to get to a really nice workflow, so I can kick up the YouTube machine again a little bit. Again, I want to clarify, don't expect like written, edited essays, please. Don't expect that. But like, if you've been missing my presence on YouTube, I think you're gonna be happy with what's about to come. Thank you, Disney Spider. Yeah, I do try to. You know, I try to make it like a communal thing and a conversational thing. I don't want to just talk to myself all day. And I really do try to be analytical as well, you know, even when I'm just playing fun games, whatever. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Okay, I'm gonna call it now. See ya, everybody. Have a good night. Have a great rest of your International Women's Day, hopefully, if you're in a different time zone. Yeah.